Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on in to the Friday Night Lights series here live for the Babytona 250. This thing is a small Daytona, and it's all full throttle and really, really difficult to drive on a long run, and we're going to have a good time here live on Maconi Entertainment. I'm Kirk Mills alongside my color commentator here, Ron Mones. And then, of course, we got Howie Burrows up working as our producer tonight. Got to ask you here tonight, Ron, you excited? We're about to go racing at one of the best tracks, I think, on the circuit.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We got the season started off on the best note imaginable at Daytona. So a little bit of craziness come time for the end of that race, I think it is fair to say. But all in all, it has been a darn good way to get the 2026 campaign up and rolling. And really looking forward to seeing what kind of thunder Echo Park Speedway and Echo Park, Georgia in the Echo Parks, United States has in store here tonight.
Oh my gosh, yeah, when they changed these names, you know, it reminds me of Lowe's Motor Speedway, what they used to call it in 06 for Charlotte. But whatever they call it, we're racing on a track that's full throttle all the way around, and you can take a look at last week's winner right here. Eddie Rose got it done in the final lap. Phenomenal finish, was able to hang on and get it done in that 46 car. And now, with that car with a win, that doesn't mean they're locked in anymore. That whole playoff system is gone. It is now all about the chase, so making sure you get consistent finishes. So that's going to be really exciting to watch. As the drivers currently are on track for the warm-up, we have about 2 minutes before we go and actually look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. I can go ahead and let you know the drivers that have been eliminated from tonight's competition. Michael Deach in the 91 missed out by 1 position. Andrew Dyson missed out by the next spot there. Then Brian Wertman, Blake Kloetcher, J.C. Gibson, and then Casey Graves, Bill Hull, Rory Collins, and Matt Metler all did not make the minimum speed needed to be in the top 40, so they will not be racing here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, but you got to race in to try and make it into the field. So they're going to be sitting on the back burner heading off into this race. Unfortunate for Blake Kluot there, a driver who really impressed throughout last season, was able to grab a win as well, if I recall correctly. I believe it was at Watkins Glen when he was able to grab the W, although I will correct myself there if a correction is needed. But yeah, he really showed some speed towards the end of last season, but not the start that he wanted to have at all. But this is the time to strike here at the early stages of the season. I always say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but if you snap your ankle on step 1, that's not going to bode well for the rest of the journey. Thankfully, though, we're on step 2, so these drivers already know what it's like to get their sea legs underneath them, but they're still looking to get that sprint rolling.
So, I can tell you right now, man, we're about to get ready to get this thing underway. 40 cars around Atlanta. It's about survival. You're going to see the big one. It's going to happen, no doubt about it. Making sure your car's there at the end is going to be utmost importance. But we got a few drivers we're going to focus on tonight. We'll get to those a little after the green flag, and we'll talk about a few drivers like Hunter Bogdan. We got drivers out here that are like Tyler Hunter. Then you got a few more that we'll go through as well. And these are the drivers we'll focus on tonight and try to actually, you know, keep an eye on all night as they go. But the biggest concern I think that we need to think on right now is, how do you pronounce that Kloetcher's name? How did you say that, Ron?
Blake Kluot.
Kluot.
Yeah, Blake Kluot. We were told last season, and you need a little bit of, I think it's a little bit of Cajun tang to it. He described it as. So great guy from the interactions that I've had. And last season, Kirk, you were of course out there on the racetrack with many of these drivers, so you have firsthand experience driving alongside them, as I have the experience commentating them on last season.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. I mean, a lot of drivers got mad at throughout the year, but, well, I think right now we're starting to get the grid up, so we're going to go ahead and do our starting lineup for tonight's Babytona 250. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get that up here on the screen. There we go. Adam Benefield got the top spot in that 83 Team Conti car, and to his outside will be the 07 of Jeremy B. Brown. Be ready for him. That's 3/1000th of a second difference. Tyler Hunter, driver we're going to look at tonight a lot, is starting in third, and to his outside will be the 97 of Lucas Hoytsma. Starting in the 5th place position tonight will be Joseph McWhorter in that 73 car. Look out for him, and to his outside will be Bryson Hicksonball in the 63. Really fast and really hard to beat. Seth Foudy will start 7th tonight in the 77 machine, and to his outside will be Dustin Hall in the 1 car. Very difficult to pass, that's for sure. Daniel Wiles comes here in the 88 car on the inside of that row, and to the outside, Bryce Rayner in the 5 car.
Then looking outside the top 10, we got Michael Menard starting this race in P11. Jesse Winslow, alongside in 12th. Running out row number 6. Row 7 will be comprised of Eric Wineland alongside Cliff Mullins in the number 44 car. And then right behind them, it'll be Drew Pohl alongside Ryan Von Henschel in P16. And then right behind on your 9th row, it will be Edward Scherer Jr. next to Dave Hoitzma. And then running out our top 20 here at tonight's race at Atlanta will be Mason Lowry alongside William Owens.
Starting in 21st tonight will be Wesley Napier in the 95 car. Going to be fun to watch him. To his outside, Tanner Marty had a lot of speed at Daytona. Didn't quite come away with the win, but he was close. Cody Bird starting in the 15 car for 23rd spot. And to his outside will be John DeNichols here in 24th. Then 25th will be Jacob Simpson in the 22 car, fastest in practice. And to his outside will be Brandon Hunsinger in the 92 car. Starting in 27th will be Charles Eaton in the 75 car. And to his outside, Kevin Zosiak got a lot of incidents last week, but they start in the 37 car this week. Alex Princeton will start there in 29th in the 9 car. Got a long way to go to get to the front. And to his outside, Jared Grodzicki, will be on his outside.
And running out our field, we've got Rich Kleinman starting alongside Hunter Truel in 31st and 32nd. Right behind, we've got Steve Benjamin and Larry McDonald in 33rd and 34th. It's Nathaniel Pollard alongside Noah Woods right towards the tail end of the field. Woods, a standout star in the Dash for Cash races last season. Daniel Llewellyn, who started off his 2025 campaign with a win at Daytona, wasn't here last week, but he'll be alongside Hunter Bogdan in P38. And then riding out our field will be Tim Phillips alongside Matthew Austin Wheeler. So 40 drivers set to grab the green flag in just a couple of moments' time here, Kirk. Quickly running through the race information here. That's not correct there. We'll say 17X, however, is the usual limit, though, so we will have to consider that.
Yep, so I can tell you right now, the race is only going to be 163 laps tonight. It's going to be stage 1 on lap 45, stage 2 on lap 95, and it's going to be one heck of a race here tonight. As you see, it has been updated. Thank you so much to our lovely producer getting that taken care of for us. 4 tire sets, so it's not going to be that big of a deal, but it's important to take care of your tires. It is easy to wear those things out. Well, let me tell you right now, this is my favorite part of the entire broadcast. All right, folks, we're coming through all 40 cars in turns 3 and 4. And we're about to get this Babytona 250 underway. Gonna reach down and pull them belts tight one more time as they come out of turn number 4. It is the 83 car of Adam Benefield leading things, heading through the middle of turns 3 and 4 into his outside the 07 of Jeremy B. Brown. Pace car dives into the pit lane, and here we go from Echo Park Speedway, the Babytona 250. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys! Heading down the back straightaway for the first time today into turn number 3 and 4. You can see the top 2 lines have really evened out. Nobody has really changed. They're just going about 110 mile an hour faster than what they were on the pace lap right here. As they cross the stripe, it looks like it will be Jeremy B. Brown leading lap number 1.
Yeah, so Jeremy Brown getting that top spot over Adam Benefield. Benefield looking to have a better run than Bryson Hicksonball had in the season opening race at Daytona. Your 2 top winners from 2025, your 2 pole sitters thus far here in 2026. Benefield still running strong.
Yeah, looking throughout the field already, you can start to see some cars up front. They are about side by side for the top 20 positions, but on back through the 40th spot, they're starting to see some single file racing. You can see that there. The outside line starting to settle in. More cars are trying to avoid the chance of a big wreck up front, which is absolutely possible this early in the race. It just is how it is in super speedway racing. These guys are going to get loose. They're going to be all over the place pushing each other, so just be ready. Any second, something can happen. Keep your eye on the front of this field because Jeremy B. Brown leading this thing, but he's up a lane higher than the 97, the car behind him of Lucas Hoitzma, the FLCC champion from last season. He is one of the guys that is going to be very difficult to beat today in that 97 car, making a bushwhack start is the best way to put it. But he's going to be trying to help Jeremy Brown pull ahead of that 83 at Benefield.
Yeah, and he was a full-time driver in this series last year as well. Was able to get in some fantastic results, including a win in the Spring Talladega race. Even made a far run into the playoffs, just barely missed out on the championship back when we still had that. But nope, he's going to be focusing on the Cup side of things, trying to retain his crown. But he is still a driver to keep our eyes out for when it comes to these plate races. He seems to really have a knack for it, especially in these now O'Reilly's cars.
So I do want to mention right off the bat, these guys are racing straight forward as quick as they can to the lap for the end of the first stage. That's their first priority, making some points. Lap 45. These guys want to be in the top 10. And if you look at our top 10 right now, it's really just cars that are side by side. They can't really be passed unless somebody tries to make a three-wide move, which I'm not seeing so far. These guys have really settled in. But there's a new driver I want to keep on mind. Right now we're on board with Joseph McWhorter, and this guy was able to win the championship last season with that format, but it would be a different answer if we had the new format this season. Last year, who knows who would have won that championship. But I can tell you right now that there's a new driver I want to keep an eye on here. Up front in the 77 car real quick, we're going to look at Seth Foudy if we can. I'm actually really surprised. I've never heard of this guy before. He's brand new to the series. He wasn't really that common driver last year, but he's trying to make a go at it. He has those rookie stripes on the rear end, but look at him. He's in a points-paying position. He's in a great spot for the start of this thing.
Yeah, and I gotta say, nice looking car as well. I like the numbers on the side of it. It feels kind of old school.
Whoa.
That number 77 holding on to P7 right now as we're already fanning out 3 wide at the front. Look at that move from Benefield.
Benefield decides to go to the middle. He got shoved in the middle by Tyler Hunter. Tyler Hunter goes to the bottom. He's a driver that's really aggressive. He made the middle line appear out of nowhere, and now it looks like Hickson Ball is trying to help Benefield in the center. They are teammates in the FLCC. I'm sure they want to work together, and they're lined up now. The 1 car also a part of that team, as well as the 5 of Rainier. So you got this 4-car line in the middle right now are all Team Conti cars. Up on the outside, you got Lucas Hoytsma there, and also Jeremy B. Brown that are not a part of that team. So I think that really was a big pain to those 2 cars because they lost the outside positioning, and now they might lose a chance at getting some stage points. But the outside lane is all Team Conti right now.
Yeah, and that Team Conti stable is always quick here in this series. When we think about Adam Benefield and the season that he had in 2025, scored 5 wins from the drop of the green in Daytona through to the fall of the checkered in Phoenix, was really quick and super consistent throughout the year as well. Always a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that 83 car throughout this campaign because I think he's going to look to try and right some of the wrongs that went last year. He and the driver running right behind him with Bryce Nixon Ball. We saw it last season. We'll see it once again. Those 2 are going to try and be the 2 horsemen to try and lead this series into domination.
Now, Larry McDonald's a lap car. Look out. He's going to be catching them, and only 3 of those cars are going to clear to the bottom. The 5 cars trying to make a run here on the top and try and get down with his teammate. But the 80 cars up in the wall, they're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway trying to avoid the lapper. But you can see how quickly now that Team Conti Sim Performance has really taken over this race and is starting to dominate right now, leading this outside lane by 1 car and the inside lane by 3 cars in a row. Tyler Hunter's move to make it 3 wide didn't really work out for him that well. He went from having a chance at the lead, now sitting back in the 5th place, 6th place spot.
Keeping an eye on these competitors as they try and sort things out. We've gotten the early race jitters out of our system. We're still only 12 laps into this thing, so you got to consider who's going to be able to make things work. It looks like that bottom side just has the strength in numbers and the strength in momentum right now. That top side is still clinging on virtually for dear life, though, so they're going to have to take a massive swing to try and get the momentum rolling back then.
You know, I do want to take a moment to talk about Tyler Hunter for a minute if we can. If we can keep an eye on that 48 car. He's right now the 4th car on the bottom lane. I just got to tell you, this guy is just an American hero, really. You know, he's 32 years old. He's married. And he's one of those guys that is just, he left home, joined the military to try and better himself. That experience really reshaped how he sees the world. But the guy he drove a Bradley fighting vehicle, which is so freaking cool. 25 millimeter cannon, real high stakes. And I think that pressure is going to help him here. If he's able to maintain his composure in this race, you're going to be able to see him stay up front more often because he's been in warfare. He knows how it is. And he's now out here in the sim trying to show that he has the skill and the talent to maintain where he is right now.
Yeah, so this is going to be fascinating to see Tyler Hunter trying to scythe his way through the running order, holding on to a good spot right now, but still very, very early on into this race. So early on into the stage as well. I wonder how long it is until people are going to start thinking about how they can angle themselves to try and get a good finish out of this. Now, Kirk, the stage has always had some level of importance with the old playoff format, but here with the new chase for the Cup, it's probably in my book has more importance now than it did before, as we see Adam Benefield covering off the bottom.
Consistency will win you a championship again, finally. And that's something that we've been wanting for a long time as race fans. But up front, I got to say, I'm really entertained by this 83 car. He's controlling both lanes, and whenever his teammate gets a run on the bottom, he lets him go. And you can see now there's two cars from the Team Conti Sim Performance on the top and two cars on the bottom. If you watched the Daytona 500 this last Sunday, you saw how the three Toyotas were able to lead all three lanes and control the race. They were able to slow the whole pack down, running lap times that were at half throttle. And I think that might be something we're seeing here right now. I think these top guys are saving fuel, working together to try and keep that fuel level at a good point. But I don't think you're necessarily going to have to pit the first stage. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think it's still going to be something that will help them have a shorter pit stop later, having to take less fuel when they come down pit road. So still worth saving, but they are in control of this thing, and you can't blame them for that. They're just being in a position where they are trying to make the best outcome for their team. And it's hard to execute. You can talk about it all you want on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday throughout the week, but to go out here and actually do it on race day early on, that's saying something. So I got to give them a lot of props for that.
Keeping an eye on some of these competitors sprinkled throughout the field, seeing that lap car, the number 80, the Golden Arches machine of Larry McDonald, lap car in the early stages. A couple of cars have completely lost touch of the draft, and now here at Atlanta, it doesn't sting nearly as much as it would at a track like Daytona or Talladega, where if you lose the draft, you're basically done for, but here it still stings a bit.
Oh, right there. We just had a huge check up the 88 car of Daniel Wiles, who was in 11th place spot, had a moment, and he had to check up big time, went sent straight to the back. The 56 and Noah Wood also ended up collecting the wall a little bit after that contact. Both still continue. But, yeah, let's take a look at it real quick. I'll keep an eye on live just to make sure everything's cool, but let's see from up here. You can see the 88 car going into turn number 3 and 4, a huge checkup. He went up out of the groove, and everybody around him had to check up as well. You see the 56 hit the wall there on the right side of your screen, but both get sent towards the back, and you just lose concentration for one single moment, and you will go straight on to the back for Daniel Wiles.
Yeah, so a small little slip up from Wiles, and he is going to be done for. We take a look at that, just getting bounced out of the way and scraping against the barrier. You could tell immediately as soon as he scraped against the fence how much momentum he lost. It's plate racing. You got to consider the momentum, having the runs be around you, but making sure that you don't completely kill off a wave of momentum yourself. If you do that, you're going to be donezo.
Speaking of donezo, holy cow, one car just almost slammed hard into the outside wall. They saved it. But now he's up in the third lane, dropping back. That is the 10 car of Matthew Boston Wheeler having problem early on. And it's just so loose up there on the top lane. They're still 3 wide going into turn 3 and 4 on older tires. Look out, Matthew. He's going to hang on to it and avoid the 16 car of Nathaniel Pollard. But up front again, these guys are just showing that they are able to stay in control. Now, whether or not they can do that the entire race is going to be something that I think is going to be real entertaining to see. It's really difficult to hold everybody off like this when there's a caution and then you go back under a restart. Right now, this is the perfect position because you don't want someone to interrupt the four at the front. And I think right now they're going to be just fine the way they are. Unless that 97 of Pointsma is able to get by the one car on the bottom, the bottom comes out, in which case then that breaks up the four-car momentum.
Looking at the field still packed in right now. Looks like rush hour traffic as they head their way downtown all through turn number 1 and 2. You can see the top two drivers from last season in terms of race wins. They combined for 12. 7 for Hicksonball and 5 for Benefiel. Insane run of form last year, and keeping themselves honest right now. The Pied Pipers of the field, it's Benefiel leading the top side with Bryce Reiner, the pusher there, and Dustin Hall being the pusher to Bryson Hicksonball, holding on to the race lead on the bottom of the circuit. We're going to be keeping an eye on the lanes throughout this race, figure out which one has the momentum, which one is starting to stall out a bit. I said that the top side was starting to struggle, but right now it looks like that top side is gaining a little bit of strength right now.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be that. I think that they're just trying to maintain right now, maintain position, make that outside line the exact way you want to do it. But I like to take a look at it, during this time, this intermediate time between the start of the race and the first stage. One of my favorite things to do is go on board. I'd like you to ask if we can get the producer to get on board with the 21 car right now. The 21 car on the outside line. If we can get an onboard of what he's looking at, what he's seeing, and we're just going to shut up for a lap, take a look at what it's like to ride in the pack here around Echo Park Speedway. Accident on the racetrack in the middle of that showing. The 15 car of Cody Bird is around, and multiple cars received damage. The 35 of Michael Mesnard. No caution. We'll have to go and take a look at that. If we can go to the 35 car and take a look at a few moments ago, we should be able to see exactly what happened. It was kind of a wild incident, but it looks like it actually was further up. Going into the corner, a car got loose on the bottom. I think it was Drew Prohill, I believe is what his name is. He got loose up ahead, and that smoke is what happened. They checked up, made contact. He got loose trying to save the race car. They did save the race car, but you can see how slow that they had to get. So if we can look up at the car 08 and that contact one more time, the 08 car, that will show you exactly what happened. Going into the next corner, I believe. So keep an eye on that. Tell me what you see there, Ron.
Yeah, so taking a look at this, heading downtown into turn number 1 and 2. It's funny, right as we try and do an onboard lap, that's when the chaos and craziness breaks out. A little bit of a lift from some drivers and usually causing a stack up off in there. I wonder if that's part of the reason why we had that. It was going on a little bit behind when that happened.
It was... So, I do got to interrupt you here. I'm sorry. It was about 2 laps prior. The wreck had already happened at this point. You can see the damage on the back end. It was going into turn 1. I think we could just pull that replay up later. Don't worry about it. Let's just go right back to live for the meantime. He's got loose. He saved it, and he's still somehow in the lead pack, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, but either way, a little bit of damage on that race car, and time flies when you're having fun. We are already into the final 15 laps of this first stage of the night, and now with that being said, entering the final third, we can start to see that level of aggression and the heat in this fighting start to get turned up a bit.
I think I'm looking at this field now, and it's separated quite a bit. Now you got 2 packs. You got that front pack right now, and then about 7 cars in a single pack, 6 cars rather, followed by a handful of stragglers out the rear of the second pack. But this front pack is what we're going to focus on. They're trying to get stage points. Everybody else will most likely stay on the lead lap if they stay within their little pack draft. But it depends. We just saw a car go up into the wall. Was that Rainier in the 5? No, it was not. Who was that? It got up in the wall there just a moment ago. The 2 car, Ryan Von Hinschel.
And Von Henschel, unfortunate to see that drama involving him. He showed some good speed in the last round of the championship at Daytona, but yeah, we'll have to see exactly what the deal was. Very easy to get up into the wall, here at Atlanta. I would say of all the plate tracks, it is the easiest by far because this is the plate race where you've got to worry about handling the most. Daytona, kind of getting up there. Talladega, it's pretty much just mash the gas pedal and go as fast as you can for an extended period of time. But here's a moment from Von Henschel. He's got your reigning champion here in this series of Joseph McWhorter right in tow, nearly fending out to 3 wide off into the turn. A little bit of a boot scoon boogie. Going to send him up the road, and he's going to be up in the fence, and that's going to send him all the way to the back.
Extremely tight. Now here we go. Drew, this was the incident that we saw earlier in the race. It will be in turns 1 and 2 whenever this happens. The field right now is still double file. There's no problems live right now. We're just going to take a look at this incident right here with Drew to see what exactly happened with him. I think he hit the apron and got loose, but we're going to take a look at it right here. Nope, it's not this lap. It must have been a lap after or something like that. We're going to find it, apparently. We're going to find it. It's going to be somewhere. And anybody got the Benny Hill theme ready to go? We'll put it in the highlights. Don't worry about it. It'll be there. But right here, these guys still in the same position. They haven't really left much. Looking up here, I got to say, another driver that's really came out right now that I'm surprised by, Edward Shearer Jr. This guy, he ended up winning, I believe, the Clash, and for the FLCC. He tried to race for the Daytona race last week, was unable to race. He got kicked out. He was one of the few that tried to qualify and didn't make it, and now he's here for the second race of the season, and now running in the top 10.
Yeah, and Shearer Jr. was a driver that we got to cover a little bit throughout last season. I think it was in the second half when he really started to make a name for himself. Actually scored a win in the other race at the Chicago Street Circuit, which, of course, because that's off the other real-life calendar, we won't be visiting that later on this season. But Shearer Jr., despite having his one and only win on a road course, he has shown some speed on the ovals as well. So keep an eye on him in that number 94 car. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, currently side by side with that number 77 car of Seth Forty, who we're following a little bit earlier on in the night. But with all the chaos and craziness we've seen thus far, rather muted chaos and craziness, considering it is a plate race, we switch our attention now, getting closer and closer to the end of this stage. Everybody hunting for those very, very elusive points. And right now it is still a dogfight between your top 2 of these lanes, Hicksonball and Benefield. Where have we seen this before?
Oh, at most races where they're running in the same race. That's the truth of the matter. But what I can bring up is listen to the cars going into the corner. They are lifting significantly into turn 3 and 4. Listen to this right here. Yeah, just completely off the throttle. These guys are really loose or really tight, and they're just having to slow the cars down that much more to try and make it work. And we're coming down. We just started lap 40. Remember, this stage here for this particular part of the run ends on lap 45. So these guys have about 5 laps to go in the stage. In the top 10, it's pretty much set in stone unless someone makes a 3-wide move.
See, I am considering looking at these racers lifting off. I said a little bit earlier on in the show, talking about how this is one of the only plate tracks where handling is such a massive factor, and it gives you an old style of plate racing that I really personally enjoy. But hearing these drivers lift out of the gas, I wonder if it's maybe track temperatures and track conditions that are potentially causing the other drivers to really struggle handling wise. That could be something to maybe probe on if we get the opportunity to chat with some of these drivers throughout the broadcast.
I am stunned. These cars are just all over the place. We got to talk to the 21 car here in a little bit. after the stage because he is shaking his car all over the place. That's Eric Wineland in the 21 car. He has made his way up through the field and is now the third car in the bottom lane. And that 21 car is doing everything he can to try and get to the front. But it is obvious that these guys are getting looser. The cars are getting a little squirrely. And it is just not fun to drive for them right now. They got to hang on to the position. Holy cow, they're almost door banging for the second place spot. But you can see how much they have to let off the throttle to try and make the corner.
Yeah, I took a quick look at the track temperatures right now. It's only about 87 Fahrenheit, so that is darn near perfect for race car tires. So I think they may have just overclocked it a little bit there. I wonder what the deal is. Maybe some handling changes will be done throughout the night as these drivers try and stay on top of it, racing into the night here in round number 2 of this season. But getting into crunch time, only a handful of laps left to go here in the first stage. And Bryson Hixenball currently holding on to the momentum on that bottom side. He's got the pusher of Dustin Hall in that number 1 car is being behind him all throughout the night. 2 laps now left to go here in stage number 1.
Getting down to the end of it, but Hixenball's leading this thing again. Remember, this guy was dominant last season. He should, and I'm going to say this, he should have been the champion. Absolutely should have, but he just got knocked in the back bumper from Dustin Hall in the 1 car, saving that car again. Just keep an eye on that 63. He's got the 83 in his outside. They're friends, they're teammates, they work together. This entire 4-car group is kind of tight buddy-buddy. So it's going to be hard for anybody behind him to get by. But we got 1 lap to go here in the stage. Coming through turns 1 and 2 for the final time before we get that green and white checkered flag. Looks like the 83 is going to hang on to the outside lane. He's going to have to check up contact with the 5. There's going to be a checkup on the outside lane, but the inside is still there with a lot of help. Dustin Hall pushing the 63 into the corner, but they have to lift into the final corner. 63 drifts up the racetrack. Now Dustin Hall looks low. Coming to the line. They're side by side. Who's it going to be at the line? It's going to be they're wrecking across the line. The 21 spinning.
Oh, the 44's around as well.
Oh, yeah, that's Cliff Mullins. He was blinking at the end there. Contact with a 08 car. And that was all because of a push from Adam Benefield to the back bumper of the 63. Sent them around at the line.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this stunning finish to stage number 1, but disaster breaking out for some. Let's see as they head their way off into the tri-oval. Yeah, there was the contact, the 5 gang into the 83, who stacked it up behind the 63 of Hixenball. And once Benefield had that sideways snap, I gotta say, Benefield should be counting his lucky stars and maybe considering going out and getting a lottery ticket because of that. He is very lucky to still have a clean race car.
What a save by the 21 car, though. Eric Wineland, what a heck of a save. We're going to talk to him here in a minute, but let's go ahead and go through our finishers for stage number 1. First place was Bryson Hixenball. Second will be Dustin Hall, followed by Adam Benefield. Eric Wineland gets 4th sideways. Bryce Reiner will get 5th. 6th place will be Lucas Hoitzma. 7th will be Tyler Hunter. Jeremy Brown will take 8th. 9th will be Seth Foudy. And 10th will be Joseph McWhorter, rounding out your top 10. As we got a stack up on the entry to pit road. Multiple cars were really slow on the entry to pit road, but they're coming down now, taking 4 tires and gas, most likely. You do not want to take 2 tires at this point.
Yeah, even though we've got those handling woes to consider, this is just not the time, not the place to be able to do it. Maybe a little bit later on you can consider it, but we see some drivers actually up on the jacks right now trying to get some fresh rubber on these cars. Seeing a little bit of shaking up, though, some split strategies.
All right, they come off pit road. And we're going to have to take a look at that here in a minute. It looks like some folks may not have made a pit stop there, but we're going to take a look at it here in a minute. But in the meantime, let's go ahead real quick and talk with Eric Wineland, who ended up getting 4th place in that one. Eric Wineland, man, you were sideways there. How did you hang on to the car?
I'll be honest, Kirk, that was a lot of luck. We were rolling real good. I love the move I made to get to the bottom when I cleared Tyler. I was so patient working my way up through there, and then I thought I would do a better job than Tyler on the bottom, helping Dustin and Bryson go forward, and we were. And then when Bryson left the bottom, I said, this is our chance. This is my chance to help get a position. and I gave it everything I had, and it sounds like Bryce might have been a little too close to Adam, and Adam was on top of Bryson, and it just stack up ended up happening. So got 30 seconds of an optional fix. Kirk will we'll get ready to re-rack them and work our way through the field again.
All right, well, thanks so much for coming up and talking with us. Best of luck as you continue out there. And what chat were you in? Were you in Stealth?
Yeah, brand new, brand new team this week.
Oh, brand new. You brand new addition to their team?
Yeah, Rich has kindly welcomed me on, so I'm looking forward to working with these guys this year.
Well, that's awesome, man. Hopefully you don't go under the radar with Stealth, but I do hope that you continue to do really well. Nice job on 4th place for the stage.
I appreciate it. No, I'd rather fly under the radar, Kirk, make the championship 4 in a stealthy way again. Well, I guess
all
it's
right,
chase
I
now,
like it, Eric. All right, thanks, man. Best of luck. Good luck in the restart. That was Eric Wineland in 21. He had to stay on pit road to fix that damage run, and he's going to be in the back trying to make his way back towards the front.
Yeah, so he said 30 seconds of optional repairs. I'm curious, did he take all of them in that one
I'm
shot,
sure he did.
or did he maybe just try and trickle it down? So it looked like that car was factory fresh, and hearing that he did spend a lot of time in the pit lane, so I think he did get that car fully repaired. But nonetheless, Kirk, we're about to grab the green here in stage number 2, which may be a bit more hectic than the first. The drivers played it very, very calm, cool, and collected to get the night up and rolling. Let's see what stage 2 has in store.
Yeah, here we go through that restart zone. That pace car dove into the pit lane. We're about to get things back underway for stage number 2 here from the Babytona 250. Man, that outside line just dissolved, went away. Only 2 cars still up there. Everybody else went straight to the bottom as soon as they had the opportunity. Trying to go through turns 1 and 2 now. You can see that outside line's going to redevelop now that they got the draft. They're good to go ahead and make a move back out to the outside. Lucas Hoitzman and Tyler Hunter lead the outside with the 63, Bryson Hicksaball and Bryce Ramier on the inside.
Yeah, that bottom lane is still looking strong, but that top side broke apart like cotton candy in a cup full of pool water.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Sorry, I mistaked the dang light for a car crashing. We're good. Keeping it green. All right.
Yeah, well, thankfully we didn't have a driver end up in the catch fence, although it is a plate race, you can never really rule that out. But yeah, that top side just again off to a really disorganized and clunky restart. That's one thing you gotta consider to get a stage up and rolling. If a lane is just as like if they were any more broken up, they would be in real trouble. Thankfully, I think they've rebounded in a nice way. Lucas Hoitzma still keeping it side by side, actually irking out to the race lead. I think he may have led that lap over Bryson Hexenball, but still very close between these two. And it looks like that top side has now officially recovered, although the path to get there was a little bit murky.
Yeah, I mean, this main lead pack is maybe about 15, 16 cars, maybe, maybe 20. But the further back you go, you just got a long single file line from about, I'd say, 20th all on the way back to 40th. Just a great long single file line. No one's willing to go too wide back there. They're just trying to avoid the big one if it happens. They saw last week, they had the big crash early on, and a lot of cars did not make it out of the Daytona race and go on to try and do anything in Daytona. A lot of them got wrecked out. So this time, they're definitely a little more cautious, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to see anything tonight.
Yeah, we said that a lot about the action in Daytona just 1 week ago. The drivers were keeping it very, very smooth. And then we got into the last lap, and then it kind of looked like the Hunger Games come time for the end of that race, I'll be completely honest. But nonetheless, here at Atlanta, it has been a smooth start as we look to try and get into the final 100 laps. So a long way left to go here tonight. Bryson Hexenball, though, doing what he usually does here in this series, holding on to that race lead. This time, though, I think he wants to right the wrongs of Daytona 1 week ago. Had a penalty late, really derailed his chances. This is the night to try and turn things around for the driver who very well could have won the championship under this current format back last October.
Oh, no doubt about it. He would have been a champion, no doubt. He's just one of the fastest guys in this series, and we know it. He's a guy who's going to be hard to beat. But we also got a lot of guys out there that are in the back of the field that showed a lot of speed last season that are trying to make their way to the front. Drivers like the 71. I think of Hunter Truel as a guy who's just extremely aggressive, has speed, but just doesn't necessarily get to the finish every single time. But that 71 is a guy I root for week in and week out. I think he's fun to watch, and even though last season I may have had a run-in or two with him, I think this season is going to be a redemption year for that 71 car.
Yeah, and Hunter Trull, despite the fact he did very, very well in the Dash for Cash races last season, I believe, was able to win a couple of those Dash for Cash races. Not actually win the race itself, but win the Dash for Cash $100 prize, which will be coming back a little bit later on this season. We'll be touching on that throughout the season, and many of the other fantastic prizes on offer for these competitors here in 2026. But keeping on that number 71 car, showed some speed throughout last season, and definitely one to keep our eyes out for here in 2026.
You know, I just got to mention, this series is actually very unique. This is one of the few series out there that doesn't have, like, a guaranteed starting spot for the Friday Night Lights series. You do not get guaranteed a spot at all. You may win, like, 5 races in a row, but you show up to one track not unprepared, in the back, anything from 40th on back, you don't make the race. That just shows that you need to be consistent year-round. Oh, wait, hold on a second. There is a tight pack starting to form towards the rear. Shearer Jr. almost got spun, but this entire front group here is just really starting to sketch me out. But what I was saying a minute ago was that you could show up with the best cars week in and week out, and then all of a sudden you lose some things. So be careful here. Let's take a look and see what happens after the show.
So keep an eye on him in that number 94 car, hoping that the commentator's jinx did not come down on him after we were talking about how well of a competitor he was throughout last season. We see him heading his way off through turn number 3 and 4, looking good, looking smooth. Got that 2 of Von Henschel right there on the inside of him, and looking like
he's fine. He's good.
Yeah, I think he's all right.
Yeah, not gonna roll in. You know, I gotta mention though, on top of this stuff, it is, I don't believe in none of that stuff. I don't believe in it. Not real. It's just, you talk about racing, you got 40 guys out there, the odds are higher. That's just how it is. One car's going below the red line, though. Take a look at that. Almost lost the dang thing, hangs onto it, goes back onto the bottom of the racetrack. I think that may have been the 77 with the cool number font tonight.
Yeah, so Razel was talking about the other cool number font on that. He's hoping not to scrape it up as he tries to get these moves done up towards the front. I will say, though, Kirk, I've been able to pull off commentator's jinxes in fields of about 10 cars in a small little, like, race. So there's got to be some sort of, like, I am the purveyor of the falling anvils.
I still have no, I don't believe it. It is what it is. But, you know, I got to say, you look at these drivers on the track right now, who do you notice is missing from the front of this pack that was here at the beginning of this race? Who's missing? I'll tell you who's missing. The one car, Dustin Hall. He's all the way mired back, all the way outside of the top 35, running 35th right now. Where did he go? Where did he come from, Cotton Eye Joe? He's gone.
Yeah, another driver dropping down like a stone thrown into a pond. Adam Benefiel, he's still in the top 20, so he hasn't dropped anywhere near as far back as Dustin Hall in this one car. Yeah, actually, as much as we could say that that's a bad thing, I would maybe want to be in that position, just because we were thinking that the second stage may be when things get a little bit rowdy after a very clean and well-composed stage one from these competitors. I wonder if he was thinking, okay, I'm going to play my odds, just try and make it through to the end of stage number 1, get a good result in stage 1, and be able to say in stage 2, okay, look, I got the points already, let me try and take it a little bit easy here. That's what I would do, at least.
You know, man, it's starting to get a little racy up here, man. I got to tell you, the intensity's picking up. It really is. For some reason, I don't know exactly why. It's not anywhere near the end of the stage, but it just feels like you got more intense up front, because guess what? Now, Team Conti Sim Performance Car is not leading this thing. It is now the 97, Lucas Hoytsma leading this thing. Champion from the full-length Cup Challenge, coming down to bushwhack, which is why I think he's driving that Kyle Busch paint scheme. He's down here bushwhacking, leading this thing, showing these guys up. I like it. Fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. He's got the Kyle Busch paint scheme, doing a little bit of bushwhacking right now, and he's got Kurt Busch's old number in the 4 of the 97.
Oh, Oh, nice catch. Nice catch. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's cool.
It's close to the old Roush font as well, as I get my teeth, get my tongue wrapped around my teeth about 17 times trying to spit that out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that outside line just does not have momentum right now. This might be the first time I've seen the inside lane gain like an advantage to where it's almost 3 cars on the bottom. If we could take a look at the actual pack here for a second going off board with this guy. Obviously, it's fun to see from the inside. But up front, you just got to see the back bumper of a car and hope you don't get turned from behind. That's the worry of the guy there. But for what I like to look at is being the driver like Charles Eaton right here in the 75 car. He's kind of stuck. He's on the bottom of the racetrack, and he's in a position where if there is a wreck, he's either going to get run over from behind or he's going to pile into the wreck. There's nowhere you can go when you're this in the center. 10th place has its benefits. You know, you get your stage point. But you also have an opportunity to get stuck, and you can't do anything about it. So luck is going to be really important when you're running in this area. Cliff Mullins, the 59 car, also involved there. Jesse Winslow, Canadian. I haven't actually heard of this guy, Jesse Winslow, out here. Showing some new speed, new guy. And qualified 12th, stayed right around where he qualified. I'd say that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, so nice to see a debut driver put in some good results here to get this season up, rocking and rolling. Now, throughout last season, one thing worth considering, talking about the other results that we had, was the sheer amount of one-win drivers throughout last year. We're going to be here a little bit, folks, so strap in. I'm going to list out all the one-win drivers we had last year. The list includes Bryce Reiner, Tommy Gassa Jr., Eric Wineland, Lars Chenoweth, Blake Kluwat, Jonathan Delaney, Edward Scherer Jr., Austin Eby, Cameron Stone, Robert Miller, Lucas Hoitzma, Johnny Avila, Brian Strunk, and Daniel Lawala. Now, some of those drivers were dropping down from the FLCC to make their starts here in this series, but either way you slice it, lots of drivers were only able to capture one single win in 2025. So here in 2026, expecting a little bit of the same. So drivers who may show in every now and then, keep an eye on them to maybe impress in their one-off flick.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that list. That just proves that anybody can win any given week. You got so many talented guys that just are specifically good at some tracks and some aren't. If it wasn't for Hoitzma coming down and racing at Bristol in the spring, you know damn well I'd have won that dang thing. I was close. I was going to win it, no doubt about it. But no, Hoitzma came down and he was fast, and got to give him respect. If I was going to lose to anybody, the FLCC champion is the guy who I feel the best about losing to. So leading this race too, he's one at Daytona, he's one at the short tracks, he's one of these guys that's just able to win anywhere he goes. And sure, you got him leading right now, but remember, these races aren't decided in the middle of the race. You got to make it to the end, and sometimes there's mistakes, there's hard pushes where crashes happen up front, and then everybody gets in it, and then you get a crazy winner, somebody who's maybe a lap down. Hunter Bogdan, for example, is just got passed by the field, and he got back underway, trying to hang on to the back end of the field right now. But you could be him and somehow end up a chance at winning this thing just by sticking around long enough. So it's really a war of attrition on these super speedways. Whoa, hang on to it. There are 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Holy cow, the 83 of, looks like that was, let's see if I got that right. Sorry, I had it for a second. Adam Benefield there. Yeah, he made a 3 wide move. It was cool. And there's still 3 wide back in the pack trying to settle it out now. But up front, you can see they are still 2 wide. But if you go back a little further, look at that blue car if we can. 21 car and the 71. They hit each other. 71 goes into the wall. Let's get a camera on it. Yeah, that was what I was trying to say. These guys are close. You can tell where these wrecks are going to happen on this type of track. You got to keep an eye on when they go 3 wide. That's really they're mad at each other. They're door banging. Keep it live. We got to stay live. These guys are still angry at each other.
Taking a look at the touch that kind of started it all and got these two racers a little bit upset with each other in the first place. You see the 71 with a bit of a scrape up against the fence and then start door banging each other, heading off into turn number 1 and 2. We'll jump back to the live action and see that there has been a wedge driven in between the two. I wonder if the 71 had another wall scrape and potentially lost out on some momentum. Either way, though, the two are separated at least for now, but if they do get back together a little bit later on in the race, I'm not sure if they're going to be on speaking terms.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't look good. Last season, they actually were mad at each other. They had a big old rivalry last year. 21 and the 71, they were mad at each other. And that carrying over into this season, you could tell. Luckily, they're able to hang on to it, but don't expect that 71 to cut the 21 any breaks going forward.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's going to be something that we do not see throughout the rest of the season. Those two working together, you'd be more likely to find Bigfoot riding a unicorn, frankly. So we'll keep an eye on those two throughout this race to see whether or not any chaos or craziness breaks out between them. Would not rule it out, but we are getting to the end of this stage, though. Only about 5 laps left, and Lucas Hoytsma still one of the top running racers, but Bryce Reiner has been able to put in a pretty good run here thus far. Now, following Bryce Reiner is a little bit tricky because he has occasionally blinked out heading off through turn number 1 and 2, including a few moments ago when I think he got sent off to the planet Zog for a couple of moments. Back out there on the racetrack, though, still leading the bottom lane, but you got to wonder whether that bottom lane will have the run heading out of 3 and 4 to be able to get the stage win over Hoytsma.
I think it's going to be possible as long as he's able to, if he's able to clear from the bottom up to the top, no doubt about it, he's going to definitely do it. But Seth Foudy has been very calm, patient, now pushing the car on the inside of the 5, and he hasn't really been making too much noise, but he's there. Now they're 3 wide right behind him. Look out, contact, 1 car's in the wall. It's the 21 car. It is Wineland up to the outside wall. I think that there may have been some contact. He drops back, car still keeps going. We'll take a look at that here in just a moment.
Yeah, some more drama going at there involving the 21. Had maybe, I think the 71 had been behind him before it took place. Not sure if he was exactly there at the time of that incident breaking out, but let's see. Heading off into turn number 3 and 4. Doesn't look like the 71 was involved.
Right here.
Look at it there. Yeah, here we go. 71 right behind him here. Let's take a look at the 2 on the bottom. Oh, yeah, it was actually the 2. He clipped the line. He clipped the apron and just wiggled off into the side of the 21. That's exactly what happened there. Nice spotted there, Kirk.
Yeah, definitely. 2 car. He just got a little loose. But right here, live, we got a lap car trying to make the top line work. That's going to change the dynamic up here in the front of the lead. They got to hang on to the car. It's going to make it push a little tight for a lap. But yeah, the 2 car, Von Hinchel, just got a little loose. Came up, made contact with the 21. 21 came across the radio, and he was not happy about that. So we'll see what the 21's able to do to come back from that. Oh, golly. Adam Benefield just put it 3 wide in the middle again. Made it work. Got that lap car out of the way now. Oh, there goes the 71. He's loose in the turns 3 and 4. A 1 and 2 correction there. He hits the wall. He saved it. But he was gone. I thought he was spinning. Somehow he was able to hang on to that 71 car.
Yeah, the power of the safer barrier helping him point that car around in the right direction. You can see it heading downtown into turn number 1. Looking at Hunter Truex splitting the difference there with the lap car, and he just got wiggly all by his lonesome. I think it was maybe the car behind him potentially taking the air off that rear spoiler, but that car just looked evil as he headed his way down into the turn. Thankfully, he keeps it out of the inside wall, but doesn't keep it out of the outside wall. Doesn't snowball into a major accident, but did drive a bit of a wedge through this field as they're coming to take the stage checker, I believe. At least they're close to it.
Coming to the line. Right there, the 97 leads lap number. Nope, we have our stage in at 95. We got a ways to go to get there. We're on lap 81, so we got a ways to go. 95 is what we're looking for.
And I will see myself at Hoytsma and Reiner still holding on to some good positions out there on the racetrack. Hoytsma, though, starting to lane swap a little bit here. Now, you see that game get played a lot at Daytona and Talladega. Your overall race leader swapping from the bottom to the top side, bottom, top, going all around the field. Now, however, here at Atlanta, you don't usually see that play out either in the sim or in real life. So interesting to see Hoytsma try and play that game.
Oh, you know, I just noticed somebody came out of nowhere, started 25th today. Jacob Simpson. He's up to third. He's pushing the outside line. How he got there, I have no earthly idea. That 22's in a position now. Oh, look out. 77 got loose there on the bottom, saved the car, but 22 wants to lead. He's willing to go 3 wide middle, I think. Keep an eye on the 22. He's real aggressive right now.
Look at Noah Woods, 29 spots gained ever since a drop of the green flag. I mentioned him right towards the top of the show. He's holding on to P7 right now. Fantastic race for him, but still plenty of action left to try and cover here at Atlanta. This is going to be a thrilling end to the stage, I feel. It's really unpredictable which line is going to have the momentum, but I will say, Kirk, and this is honest, I don't have a good feeling about the bottom side right now. It looks like they're just a little bit broken up. Not nearly as broken up as the top side was at the start of this stage, and it worked out well for them. But at the moment, that bottom side just doesn't fill me with a whole lot of confidence. We'll just have to find out if it works or not.
Yeah, the 63 of Hicksonball on the top line, I think is the only reason the bottom lane is sticking in there, like you said. I think the bottom lane doesn't look very good, but 63 is not necessarily pushing the 22 at all. He's keeping a bit of a distance from the back bumper of the 22. And I think that's intentional. He's trying to keep the bottom line involved here, so the bottom line wears their tires more, and when they want to go and push the car, they can. It saves their tires, and it also makes the bottom line work a little harder. So it's beneficial for him to be doing this. And that's why you're seeing the 77 chase it up the hill. He's getting really tight in the middle of these corners in that gold car. I mean, I think that's kind of a cool paint scheme altogether. That 77 just looks really dope.
Yeah, that's a nice looking race car. For some reason, it makes me think of like gold prospecting back in the day.
Oh yeah,
just going out west and like panning for gold somewhere in a river out in the middle of nowhere, wearing beaver skin.
Yeah, it's a 77er. There we go. It's like a 49er. We'll take it. Miners. There you go. But that 22 actually got even with our leader this last time by. He lost a little bit of ground on the backstretch in 1 and 2, but he was side by side with the 97 almost across the stripe. So I think that outside line's starting to make a little bit of headway. Just right there, 5 cars trying to push the 97, but it's not doing much.
Yeah, the runs have been quite slow. Nobody really being able to make anything work quickly. You gotta hack at it for a while. And now, if you have the patience to make it work, that is golden. But the problem is not a lot of people going to have the patience to try and make things work just for a stage win. But for some of these racers running up towards the front, if they want to try and just eke their way into the 12-man chase come time for the fall and the late summer here in 2026, a stage either a stage win or good stage points here could make a world of difference. So Jacob Simpson, that 22 car, has a lot riding on his shoulders. You look at the cars of like Noah Woods. He's running down in P8 at the moment. That could still help him out a little bit later on this season. We always saw back in the playoff era how a few little points can make a world of difference come time for the end of the campaign. With the chase format, he could probably crank that up a couple of notches. Every point will matter.
You know, I'm looking right now, knowing that the championship's a long ways away, I think that race wins mean a lot more now than they did before, because now it's about being consistent, staying in the top 10, staying in the top 5, and winning races. You get a lot more points than you did back in the Winston Cup era. So it actually is beneficial to win these things compared to, like, there's not much of a chance that second place will ever outpoint you anymore. So it's important to remember that. But I'm looking here at this field, and I could say that I'm trying to keep an eye on both lanes, looking at it, and I'm just trying to find the cars that look like they're pushing tight. And right now, Joseph McWhorter in the 73 just looks like his car is really tight. He's trying to keep the car underneath him, but he's pushing wide most of these exits of the corner. You're going to see it happen in turns 1 and 2 most often. So you can see he's slightly higher than the car in front of him. And it could be because he's trying to make a third line work, But I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think his car's just really loose right now, really tight right now, trying to hang on to it, and it's wanting to go up into the outside wall.
Yeah, I think all throughout the night, we've already seen it, and I think we're going to have to talk about it a lot longer throughout the night. Handling woes have seemed to dog everybody. Nobody's really been immune from it so far. Now, whether that changes between now and the checkered flag, we'll just have to find out. But I have a sneaking suspicion that it is going to be a consistent theme throughout this second race of the season. I do love it, though. I absolutely adore it. Now, though, we're in the final 2 laps of the stage, so whatever sort of handling troubles that you've got right now, you gotta have to compartmentalize that, put it in a tote, and then throw it into a storage locker. You can't be thinking about that too much. You just need to make do with what you've got, put your nose to the grindstone, and try and eke out a good result as we're coming to the end of the stage.
You know, and the thing is, even though we got about 2 laps to go here, I think it's something to mention. These cars are very difficult to drive. It's not like Daytona. It's not like Talladega. These cars are actually, you're having to lift, having to manhandle these cars, and that's something that our producer Howie just brought up. It is something that is unique to Echo Park Speedway here in Atlanta. It's important to remember that. But here we go. Coming down to get one more lap to go in the Friday Night Lights. Stage number 2 for the Babytona 250. Coming across the line this time, it is the 22 leading that lap. And we're coming into the final one. Let's see who's going to come around to get it. Through turns number 1 and 2. Let's see what we got here down the back straightaway. Again, this is lap 95. Heading down the back even. Nobody's moving around. Nobody's made any crazy moves quite yet. But coming to the line, it's still side by side. Will it be Hoytsma on the bottom, or will it be Jacob Simpson on the top? Coming to the line, it looks like it's going to be Jacob Simpson. Wow, what a finish. I think so. Oh, no. Was it Hoytsma or Simpson? I can't quite tell. It was Simpson. Absolutely Simpson. Yes.
Oh, it was no time between them, though. That was super duper close. We're going to take a look at those results, the stage results, in just a couple of moments' time, and you'll be able to see the margin between those two competitors. Yeah, 0.02 of a second. Yeah, that's in whisker territory. Gotta buy a whisker at the end over Lucas Hoytsma, Bryce Reiner, Bryson Ixenball, Jeremy Brown. Seth 40 finishes in P6 in that nice Gold Rush number 77 car. Joseph McWhorter in P7 over Daniel Wiles, Noah Woods, and Adam Benefiel rounding at your top 10 at the end of the second stage. But Kirk, we've got the racers trundling their way down this extended pit lane approach here at Atlanta. We saw how much the field got shuffled out with those first pit stops. Let's see if it happens again here at the second.
Yeah, 22 car won the stage after starting 25th at the beginning of this race. That just shows you can start in any position and make your way to the front. Noah Woods even got some points there, out finishing 9th in the stage, but he started way back in 36. So you could really move from the front to the back of these. Here he goes into the pit stall. No doubt about it, everybody on pit road right now is going to take 4 tires and gas. And make sure you do not go through 3 pit boxes before yours or 3 pit boxes after, because that will give you a penalty straight to the back of the field.
Yeah, you got kicked down to the 7th circle of hell if you drive through too many pit stalls in the NASCAR world. Waiting to see who's going to be the first up off the jack. See some drivers maybe taking fuel only stops potentially here. Nope, it looks like everybody's just taking tires, running the same pit call. It looks like Jacob Simpson was able to jump in front.
Well, folks, we just got to nighttime here from Echo Park Speedway. The lights have just flickered on, and we're going to have ourselves a last little dash to the finish of this race under the lights. Why don't we go ahead and try and actually talk to the 2 car? I'd like to hear from him if we can find him. Let me see if we could find him listed somewhere in here. I'm sure he's in the sim somewhere. I actually don't. Oh, 22. That's it. All right, I'll go ahead and move him up here, and we'll see if we can't talk to him. Jacob Simpson, Kirk Mills up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, man, you just went from 25th all the way up to win that stage. Holy cow, man. How'd you do it?
The honest answer is I did absolutely nothing. Just stayed on the bottom, and handling became a factor. People were sliding up. There was a lot of times I wanted to shove it in 3 wide, but I don't really need penalty points. And my boy Kurt called me aggressive a lot last year, so I want to finish these races. So that's all it was.
I like seeing it, Jacob. I always say that when I see an aggressive driver, a guy who's willing to make moves to win these races, it's so entertaining to watch, man. Just keep it up. Don't change. I like the way you're doing it. But of course, you're going to get better finishes this year. I think you are. But still, don't change the way you drive. It looks awesome to watch.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. All right, man. Best of luck to you on the restart. And what chat were you in?
Ralph Hutchison, RHM.
RHM. I'll see if I can't get you over to RH Motorsports chat. All right. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
That's Jacob Simpson, Ron. Got to tell you, these guys kind of know I have little nicknames for them from last year. But some guys are new, so we got a long ways to go. But I'm surprised Nathaniel Pollard is going to be starting 11th. We hadn't seen him in the top 15 all day.
Yeah, Nathaniel Pollard has been quite under the radar thus far, but as it was said a little bit earlier on, it's better to be under the radar, run a little bit stealthier in this race than run into the thick of it and be the standout star. You want to be the standout star in the final 5 laps, not in the any of the laps leading up to it, because if you try and be the standout star early, you're either going to send yourself into the fence or somebody will send you into the fence. But looking to peak at the right time, we have 65 laps left to go here in this stage. Once we grab the green, let's bring the thunder in the final stage.
That's it, guys. Here we go. Back underway. That 22 got a great jump, but that 22's got to remember, they got a couple cars that are pushing behind him. He's got a huge gap, and that's going to be a problem for him if nobody goes with him. Going through turns number 1 and 2, remember the last time we saw this restart, that bottom lane ended up being the place you wanted to go until you exited turn 2. This time, a lot of cars stayed up on the outside line, and they're carrying momentum down the back. 22's checking up the inside line. That's going to bring the 97 of Hoytsma straight to the top, entering 3.
Yeah, so Lucas Hoytsma, ever since he got up here, he has been a force to be reckoned with in that number 97 car. We said that he was a plate maestro, was able to grab the win the Spring Talladega race back in 2025. Now here in 2026, looks to try and win in Spring Atlanta, even though it is still technically the winner. He jumps down to the bottom side, now in front of Jacob Simpson. Everybody else running in his coattails right now is look at Bryson Hicksonball leading that very disjointed top side.
You know, I got to mention to you right now, we have not had an actual crash yet, but be on the lookout. It might be coming. You never know when it's going to happen. We haven't actually seen a car go around yet, outside of a car getting loose and at the end of the stage. So keep an eye. These all 40 cars, I think, are still out there on the race. 39 cars are still out there on the racetrack. We lost Larry McDonald, but everybody else is still out there on the racetrack, and 38 of the 40 cars are on the lead laps. So still, keep that in mind.
And one thing to consider as well about this racetrack that I'm actually maybe going to push back on, I believe NASCAR did eventually get to scan this track, but it was a couple of years ago that they finally got the opportunity to. So this track is going to look a heck of a lot different this weekend in the real-life NASCAR world than it will be here in the sim. But it is still just worn down enough whereby these competitors are going to have to worry about the handling and worry about another thing as well, the continuing evolution of the track conditions. I said that the track temps were around 87 Fahrenheit earlier on in the broadcast. They're now down to 81. That doesn't seem like a huge swing, but 6 degrees for race cars can make a world of difference. For exhaust gas temperatures, that's the difference between a burnt-out piston and a quick lap time. For race car tires, that's the difference between feeling comfortable or burning up, or feeling comfortable and being too cool.
These guys know now that we have to pit under this little run here. You're not going to be able to run straight to the finish without going to the pit road again. You have to come down pit road. So I think that there's a chance we might see some saving going on. 65 laps in the stage is when we got the green flag back underway. Now, if they can make it 65 laps, that'd be pretty dang good. I don't think they can. There's a chance they can, I'm sure. I'm sure they could save it. But I think they're banking on a crash. Because if you think you're going green all the way around, that would be a phenomenal showing. But, I mean, you're racing a super speedway style race. And now this pack is huge. It is now consistent of everybody inside of the top 25. So because of that, you want to keep an eye on them all day.
Now, what are the chances that we do have a fully clean and green run through to the end? It has been a well-composed race from these competitors. Only a couple of bits of drama. We did see the chaos break out as we grabbed the green and white checkers at the end of stage number 1. But apart from that, it has been a very, very smooth night thus far for these racers. Could they maybe shock the world and run a plate race all the way through to the checkered flag without any major incidents? We saw it happen at Talladega a couple of years ago for the Cup Series in real life, which was an absolute shock in the other motorsports world. Atlanta, who knows, maybe we could potentially see them run clean and green to the end. I still wouldn't bet money on it. If I were a betting man, I probably wouldn't have a house. I wouldn't have socks for that matter. But we'll just have to see if these racers can truly make it clean and green to the checkered flag.
You know, it's funny. Back in the spring, I led the white flag here at Atlanta. But I did a restart on old tires. So I remember that really vividly. Coming out of the turns 3 and 4, I dove it in there as deep as I can go. The car just got loose and went up the racetrack, and cars passed me on either side, and I got like 8th. So you might have a car that make it to the end, but if your tires, you might have enough gas to make it to the end, but if your tires aren't there and guys take tires at the end, it does not feel good. I know from firsthand experience. You do not win the race when you do that. You get locked out. I wish I could have blocked better. I wish I could have done something different, but unfortunately, best thing I feel out of that one was leading the white flag. We hadn't brought that up much, but I can say right now, these guys up front, they're not really concerned about that. I wasn't up front all night. It's all about pit strategy at the end of these things. If we stay green, pit strategy is going to win you the race.
Yeah, and when you bring handling into the factor as well, you'd usually think that plate race doesn't have the handling, but we have got to talk about it big time here. If you're running on old tires one time for the very end of this race, even if you've been able to treat them like a saint, there's only so much you can do here at Atlanta, even though it just got that repave done back in 2022 when they reconfigured this track into the plate version. It is still a cheese grater on tires, so if you get to the end of this race and you're running on old tires, it's going to feel, your car's going to feel like a declawed cat climbing up an igloo, and that's not a spectacle you want to see, ever.
Absolutely. You know, all 38 cars are in this lead pack right now. Out of the 40, we had one car that's out and lost the draft. We were going to talk about him much today, Hunter Bogdan, but he just hasn't really had that good of a race. I think he got a little damage on the start or something happened to where he wasn't able to have the same speed as the other cars. But he has a nickname of the car with 9 lives, so who knows? He might be able to resurrect himself again, try to get up to the front. But I hate to see it. All 38 cars ahead of him, though, are on the lead lap, in the lead draft, has a chance of the win. Doesn't matter. It's possible. But I can tell you right now, nobody is going to be trying that third lane anytime soon, because if you run that top lane too much, you get real tight. Oh, maybe not. Look at the move. The 73 goes to the middle. Trying to make a move. Hicksenball has to go to the top. Required. And it made it work. There goes McWhorter to the lead. Just like that, as they're still 3 wide behind. With the 88 car, Daniel Wiles trying to make the outside work with Noah Woods to his inside.
That's a nice move from your reigning champion, who was only able to grab 2 wins in his championship charge last season. It was at the other tracks that started with the letter P. It was Pocono and Phoenix that he was able to grab the wins. Of course, Phoenix in the season finale, enough for him to clinch the championship. It was an emotional night for him, and a very, very proud moment, I am sure, for him as well. Want to keep the momentum rolling, though, as we head off into this race. And look at him, still trying to punch that hole in the air and make something working on that top side. But that top side has always been a little bit disjointed. I don't know what's in the air on that top side, but it just hasn't been teamwork.
Golly, man, looking through this field, there's just moments that look like they're going to be a crash, and they save it, and they're able to keep it going. But looking up front, these guys, we've seen them there all race. There's not really anybody who showed up out of nowhere quite yet. But whether or not they're able to get to the front, these guys that were staying in the back waiting for the right moment to strike, I don't know how we're going to see them get to the front, because the track's just going to be blocked. You have to make a move to the middle. Look for the car in front of you to try, and if there's a gap, car. Unfortunately, that's the rule you're probably going to have to do to try and make it work to make passes here. You could change from top lane to bottom lane like we just saw the 21 car do to get down from the top lane to the bottom lane. His recovery from the back of the pack after his damage from 25th is all the way up to now 12th 13th in the field. On the bottom lane, you can see that blue car on the bottom. Really stands out. You can't really miss it. But, yeah, he is going to try his best to try and get through there. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not.
You'll have to find out. You got to peek your way through this field like you're trying to scythe through rush hour traffic, which, hey, it can work out for some. Other people, though, it is a tough road to try and tackle. So keep an eye on these racers and the strategies they try and implement. We talk about the strategies coming down pit lane, what to do fuel and tire-wise. You got to figure the strategies out there on the circuit. You know, this is what I do like about this. I said it in our little private broadcaster chat a little bit earlier on, right as we had that last stage yellow. What I love about this race, having played racing with handling brought into it, it puts the race back into the driver's hands. It puts the driving back into the driver's hands. They're not completely 100% and purely reliant off of chaos breaking out around them and the draft and timing out the runs. Although that plays a factor and you have to have a killer race car, a killer setup, and a killer engine to try and power your way up to the front, you've got to have the squiggly bit in between the steering wheel and the seats working like a charm to try and make your way up to the front. So keep an eye on these races throughout to see what they can do.
75 just got into the outside wall right there. There was a 3-wide move by Nathaniel Pollard trying to get to the inside of Von Hinchel. Didn't quite make it. 75 scraped the wall. Not a huge accident there, but you could tell that was coming from a mile away. Watching the whole field, if we can take like a look at, say, instead of the front of the field, maybe about 5 cars back, a little further back. Yeah, right here. This is no man's land. Nobody wants to be in this section of the racetrack because all it is cars bobbing and weaving, trying to make things work. And at the tail end of that lead pack, too, they want to go forward. They really do, but they don't got the ability to do so quite yet. They're kind of stuck. So no man's land behind Dustin Hall, Kevin Zosiak here. You don't want to be anywhere near there right now.
And it's ultra tough because of them going side by side and fending out into so many different lanes throughout there. It's not only dragging them down going side by side, you're just pretty much tying anchors to their ankles. You've got to consider that, bringing more drivers into the fight as well and just making that problem exponentially worse. So presently, those racers behind, they can't really change anything about the situation they're in. But the situation that they find themselves in is just getting worse. We have a driver spinning farther in the back coming out of the tri-oval.
The 5 car went around that, I believe, the 15 car, Cody Bird in the 15 sitting sideways on the bottom of the racetrack. This will be our first caution for incident of the day heading through the tri-oval. Remember that no man's land spot I talked about? He's exactly in that spot.
See, it looked like he spun just all by his lonesome and a huge shot off into that inside wall. Gus stayed down onto the apron. We have now had the yellow. I think a driver had to have been stopped above the apron there. So late call done by iRacing, who's usually a little bit hesitant to throw those yellow. Did he blow his motor up?
No, he just got, I think either his screen went off. I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a look at that again. Remember, the 15 cars who we're looking at, remember, this is exactly the no man's land I was telling you about. All right, he's sitting here. We're riding on board with him. Looks fine so far. Not a problem. Right, he shifted. Yeah,
Money
that car.
Shift.
Wow, that is unorthodox and unfortunate. You know, that's not the way you want to go.
Oh, absolutely not. A blown motor, a blown transmission. What you just heard, folks, was the unmistakable sound of a transmission being turned into an unrecognizable, cup of metal slurry. I saw the smoke coming off the back of the car, and I was like, that is not thick enough plumes to be a full-on engine failure. It just looked like the rear axle completely locked up. So that right there was exactly what happened. It's fascinating to see. I mean, you're usually not shifting at a point like that. I wonder what kind of caused him to shift down that way in the either way, though, it doesn't matter what circumstances led to that misshift going down in the first place. We were under yellow. It was a manual yellow deployed by race control, so iRacing was not going to deploy one on their own, as we do see some racers now making the call to come down pit lane to do a quick splash and dash. Dustin Hall being one of them, the driver that we saw running very strong early on. You know,
I got to mention real quick, a lot of guys are coming down, topping off on fuel, but it's not necessary. I think they can make it to the end on gas, no problem about it. But sure, the extra gas is going to help them, I think, maybe. I mean, if they have to make a quicker pit stop at the end of the race, they don't need to take much gas at all. Some guys came down, some stayed out. I mean, I think one thing I want to mention is I think that this changes things to where I don't think they will need gas to the end of this thing. I think they'll make it all the way to the end.
So now that we've got to consider not only the strategy of how to tackle the racing out there on the circuit, got to consider the tires, we've got to consider the fuel as well. This is getting very complicated for these racers. It being a plate race, it's usually a game of juggling chainsaws, but it's getting even more to this now. Everybody's going to have to struggle to try and figure out how best to tackle this. Now, the drivers who came down pit lane, which includes Dustin Hall, who's still stopped there, think he might have a black flag. And anybody who just came down pit lane, they're going to be golden to try and get to the very end. Dustin Hall now out and away, 1 minute and 13.8 seconds stopped in the pit stop. I believe he remains on the lead lap, hearing that there may have been some damage playing into that, so it may not have been an actual penalty, but the equation for these drivers, Kirk, is really starting to get complicated. It's starting to get a bit messy now. There is so much on these drivers' plates that you don't really know what to sink your teeth into first.
Well, from a driver's standpoint, right now, knowing that I can make it to the end. If I came down pit road this time, I know I'm making it to the end, no doubt about it. I got fresh tires, got good enough fuel to make me to the end. That is going to be my goal. I'm going to push hard, not yet. I'm going to hold off on that. I would ride the first 30 laps because you got to save your tire. If you're out there, you just got tires, you got 41 to go. By the end of those 30 laps, your tires are going to be shot if you're pushing hard trying to get to the front. I think you need to be conscious about when you push. You need to be able to do it right. But honestly, I don't think drivers are really that confused now. This really simplifies things for most of those that came down pit road. If you came down pit road, your goal now is to keep the car straight and don't wreck and stay up front. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think for the racers who came down pit lane, this equation is definitely far more simple than the drivers who stayed out. I will say, though, and this would be the way that I would play it out, if we have another yellow coming up here soon, that's the time to come down pit lane, because it's the best of both worlds. Peace of mind and comfort for the end of the race tire-wise.
And we get back underway. 40 laps to go here in the Babytona 250? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Heading down into it. Nobody's really been out of the race other than a couple cars. On the lead lap, 36 cars are currently sitting on the lead lap. Trying to get things early on up front. Take a look. The inside lines got the momentum, but the outside lines lined up way better than the inside. Heading to turn 3, McWhorter leads the outside line.
And we didn't really talk about Joseph McWhorter at all throughout this race, but jumping up towards the front of the field and really putting in some impressive results right now. Just getting that experience, being the leader, knowing when to catch those runs, when to hitch a ride onto those waves of momentum. If you can learn how to play that game, you could very well come out of this race smelling like a bed of roses. Everybody looking to do that is a lot better than coming out of one of these races, either smelling like the infield care center or smelling like a bucket of horse manure. Hoytsma, though, still your race leader in that number 97 car. That's going to be a tough nut to try and crack. He's been very quick thus far.
Do you mean to tell me that it's possible to come out of a NASCAR race and smell like a bed of roses? What? Ron? That is wild.
Hey, you could do it at Pocono. That is the honeymoon capital of the world.
Oh, Dave Hoytsma in a wall. Out of turn number 2, he's slow. He's trying to say that. Hang on to it, Dave. Hang on to it, buddy. Oh, man. He got set in the wrong spot, but we're looking at the 2 of Von Hinchel, trying to make that 16 car a little loose as well. 79 dropped out of the pack. He will be out of the lead draft, unfortunately. Hate to see it for him. He was having a decent night, staying alive. But up front, still side by side. Get that 2 car of Von Hinchel. You know, we had a couple recruitment races at the beginning of the year in that 2 car. He dumped me at Michigan in one of the recruitment races. Went out there to try and drive with him. So, you know, he had a little contact earlier with the 21 car. I'm keeping an eye on the 2. I think he's real aggressive. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to use that aggression for his personal gain here to get to the front.
Yeah, only time will tell. I will say, I think if my memory serves me correctly, he was shown some good speed last time at Daytona. Much different enough to try and crack here, though, so you got to figure out how well he's going to be able to handle this race here. But certainly these races that we've got up towards the front, the likes of Lucas Hoytsma, Joseph McWhorter, Jacob Simpson, Bryson Ixenball, Bryce Reiner, they have been the ones that have been there all throughout this race. And even you go a little bit further behind, the likes of Adam Benefiel and Eric Wineland, they've been up in the front thus far here. Noah Woods has put on a good race. I believe is still your hard charger in this race. So many of the competitors that we've got up towards the front, they have been here all night long.
Oh man, I don't like the way this is looking up front, guys. I can tell you right now, it looks like that we're seeing these cars closer together. And when that happens, you have a bigger shot at making a mistake. They're getting closer and closer. They're pushing more. The 63 has a lot smaller gap to the 73 than he did to the 22 earlier when I talked about it. And I got to tell you, I'm starting to get a little worried up front. These pushes got to stay straight, but anything can happen. And, oh, my golly, the back of the pack. One car almost lost it back there. Whew, man, I'm getting a little antsy, man.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit more frenetic out there on the track. These competitors throwing caution to the wind. They haven't thrown completely out the window yet, but certainly that window is cracked, and they're learning how exactly they can chuck it out the window and get as far away as possible. Hoytsma still your race leader. Jacob Simpson right in tow. Side-by-side racing, though, with McWhorter and Bryce Reiner. Keep an eye on those racers as they fan out side-by-side. It looks like rush hour traffic. We're not really seeing anything break up farther behind either. This is just a never-ending stream of side-by-side, basically 20 rows back.
You know, these guys got people supporting them out here watching the race. They're trying to win and trying to be most popular driver. If you're in the chat watching this race right now, please let us know who you're rooting for. I'm curious. I want to find out who the most popular driver is this season. Last year, Nolan Hodgson had a pretty good shot at it. He's not racing tonight, but I'm thinking that we might find who the O'Reilly Series guy might be. We'll find out. But, man, these cars are really getting tight. Let us know who you like in the chat so we know who you're rooting for. I can say right now, I do not want to be anywhere outside of the top 4 spots. It just does not look special, especially fun right now.
Yeah, I would not want to be in anywhere else but A, the front, and B, I wouldn't want to be on the top side, if I'm being completely honest. I like the freedom of being able to dip down to the apron, and in case any sort of drama breaks down, having room to run and hide. If you're up at the top, you're pretty much completely out there, and if that chaos breaks out around you, you are hung out to dry. So me personally, I'd want to be on the bottom. Obviously, up towards the front, you never want to be farther in the back. It's just running up at the top. You're the one punching the hole in the air, and if there's any chaos breaking out around you, either you're the one that just got spun, or the spinning out is going on behind you. That's a much better position than the hopeless feeling of being forced to pile into.
Whoa, they're wrecking on the front straightaway for the 44 car. Cliff Mullins hard into the outside wall, collects the 30 car rather. William Owens, no caution, but they are still sitting sideways on the front straightaway.
Looking at it, heading their way out of 3 and 4. A bit of a choke point. Oh, contact made. Mullins sideswiping the barrier, and nothing the 30 could have done there either. Huge smacks against the fence. It looks like huge damage on those race cars as well. They're going to be driving pretty ugly throughout the rest of this. Taking a look at some more replays here. I think we had more drama break out right after we had that incident.
I don't think so. That was the only contact I saw. Let's take a look.
Oh, we're back to live action.
Oh, yeah, good. I was about to say. 16 car, Nathaniel Pollard, third lane. He just got shoved up to the top lane. If we can get a camera on the 16, he's kind of stuck up there. He's kind of all over the place. There he is. He's stuck on the top. When you get shuffled out to that outside line, you really can't do anything about it. You get shuffled out so dang fast. And, you know, it's so unfortunate, too. He had a good spot. He had a good chance of getting the top 10 right there. But after that, oh, contact up front. One car went below the yellow line. The 5 car, Renier, and the 22 car had some contact. They keep it straight, and they're keeping it on the racetrack, but there was a huge checkup between the 2 cars. A bad push from the leader caused them to get a little squirrely, but we're still watching live. Let's keep an eye on live.
Yeah, keep an eye on the action. Keep an eye on these racers building that level of aggression now below the last 30 laps of this race. These competitors do have to start worrying about fuel as well, so I wonder if they're maybe trying to sort themselves up well enough whereby they can make a run down pit lane under green flag conditions, no less. That's going to be interesting.
It's just too chaotic to think about that right now. These guys are in a position where they're in the middle of a hornet's nest. Cars going from the top to the bottom. Up front, they are pretty comfortable. You know, they got control. But the further back you go, I've been looking at cars like Drew Prohl in the 08. Remember, he got wrecked. He's made his way back up to the top 15. 77, Seth Foudy, been running top 10, top 15 all day, sitting 13th right now. They're in positions where there's cars really close to the rear bumper of these guys, and any little mistake by them is going to send them around, and it's going to be a problem to watch. But up here in the front, these guys are actually feeling calm while the rest of the field is under a lot of tremendous stress right now.
A whole lot of pressure, a whole lot of tension.
The 40-80. Oh, no, Tyler Hunter hard into the outside wall. Caution comes out.
Contact breaking down, drivers in the fence. Looks like we're still green out on the racetrack for now,
caution.
But
absolutely caution, absolutely caution. Oh my gosh, look at that heavy hit. 4 car was involved in that, but it was just man, I hate to see that for Tyler Hunter. He had a great day going for him. He was running there on the bottom, and he had the 41 car, John D. Nichols, right behind him. He didn't have anything to do with that particular crash. I think the 48 of Tyler Hunter, he got into the back bumper of the 77 of Foudy. Remember, I was just talking about this entire section. This was the section that had a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety on their side. It just looked like a hectic mess, and you could tell something was coming. But Seth Foudy lifted a little bit going into the corner. 48 hit him in the back bumper on the entry, and that caused the 48 car to get unsettled. As you see here, split decisions up front on the pit stops. The 97 of Hoytsma comes down pit road. Everybody else stays out on the racetrack.
I like this call from Hoytsma. This would be the play call that I would run if I was out there on the racetrack. You've got the benefit of having the comfort of knowing that, okay, the tires are behind me, I'll be good there. The fuel's going to be behind me, I'll be good. And you also don't have to worry about any sort of chaos and craziness breaking out around you. You're going to be shuffled back a little bit, and you also will have the benefit of time as well to say, okay, I'm not stopping really, really late. There's still plenty of time left to go in this race for me to make my way up. If anybody is confident in the speed of their race car, it is Lucas Hoytsma, that number 97 car. So I like that call from him, I'll be honest.
I'm going to have to pay the other side of the coin here, man. I really am not a fan of that move. Coming down pit road, sure, I think it might be a short-term loss, but it puts you back in a position where we have had very little amounts of cautions. We just only had 2 cautions for crashes in the last 30 laps. But that's only going to increase. It's only going to get crazier. And I would do everything in my power to make sure that my car was nowhere near the middle part or the back half of the field. We saw how hard it is to pass here. It is extremely difficult. These cars up front, they have older tires. They're going to be a little more squirrely. That just adds to the risk of more wrecks happening because you got faster cars right on their back end. And if they make a move to the top lane to make it 3 wide, even though the outside lane has the fresh tires, that inside line will be running on old tires, and they'll wash up and they might cause an accident. So I'd say right now that if he's doing this, I wouldn't push. And now that you kind of made your bed, you can't push anymore. You got to wait for them to make a mistake. A big crash happens, and then half the field gets taken out. Then, if you missed it, you can take those fresh tires you got, and you pass everybody else. I mean, it's a really big risk, and I don't necessarily think it's going to pay off, but it could. Not saying it can't. Obviously, Ron, you're rooting for it. I don't think it's a great idea, but we'll see how it works out. I think by the end of the race, we'll learn something together no matter what happens. I don't know if he's going to come back from that. It's going to be real hard.
See, and now I will play point counterpoint because I think that is fair. I would personally want to be out of harm's way. I mean, if you're in the mid-pack when chaos breaks out, there is one word to describe the situation you find yourself in that moment, and that is being completely screwed. Yeah, exactly. So I think that is a fair point to raise. However, if it's going to be hectic come time for the end, like it was at Daytona, like it usually is in plate races, and we go off into green-white checkers, then those racers who came down pit lane just barely in that window, they're screwed in front of you, along with everybody else who stayed out. So maybe, potentially, it's a gamble for sure. We're not guaranteed green-white checkers, but we are also aren't guaranteed yellows between now and the end. So just throwing that out there in case it does break down like that.
He had somebody come down with him in the pit road, the 21 car of Eric Wineland. Both cars ended up going down pit road with a couple more behind them, choosing to go down and top off on gas, get tires, ready to go. But here we go, coming to get the restart. We will have a 20-lap dash to determine the winner of the Babytona 500. I think it's going to be interesting. Back underway. Keep an eye up front. Not a good restart from the third car on the bottom. Really slow restart, actually, as they have checkups throughout the field.
Big stacking up farther behind. The lane's getting broken up. I like that top side, though, because your top two haven't completely broken away. But outside that, once they get reunited like they have now the bottom is going to be the one to feel good. Oh, look at drivers really swapping sides farther in the back. That was Edward Scherer Jr. Looks like he got sent up to the top side with a bad wiggle.
Trying to look at these cars as they head off turn number 4, coming to 19 laps to go in the run for the race. Who will it be? We're going to find out. These cars are all over the place. I'm looking at a car right now. The 2 cars got someone right on his tail. The 34 of Edward Scherer Jr., like you were talking about. He's pushing hard. He's trying to find a way to the bottom, but not able to do it quite yet. And let's remember, the 97 of Hoytsma is way back right now. He crossed the line last time in 22nd. He's going to make it 3 wide in the middle, trying to make a 3 wide move in the back of the field, get to the 97. Let's get a camera on that. He's so aggressive trying to make his way back to the front.
Yeah, a man on a mission. This is part of the reason why I was supportive of that call, because if anyone feels confident and knows where to put that car, it is that number 97. Started well in this race, led throughout, but driver nearly wrecking around him. That was a 71 that just got sent off into the ether.
Exactly. That could have been way worse for the 97. He got real lucky the car didn't come back up the racetrack or hit him. They made contact and they got sent down the line, but we're keeping it green. Let's keep an eye on this 97. Up front, the battle's still side by side. There is no real momentum shifts up front. It's not really the place to be keeping an eye on right now. This is where the battle is. And I think that this 97's march to the front is going to be, up in front, contact, 77 spinning in front of him. And does anyone else get collected up front? Not that I can see. Only the 77 spins. Caution is out.
Yeah, and caution back out with 20 to go now. Hoytsma, he's going to be able to cycle out to the race lead if everybody comes down pit lane right in front of him, but got to wonder what the damage situation may be on that race car. He found himself right at the epicenter of all that chaos and craziness. Did he get collected enough to have a little bit of damage skewed to that race car? Let's see.
He got very lucky. Very lucky. I knew this type of thing was going to happen. It's just a part of it. That one car, Dustin Hall, made it to the middle lane, and the outside number did not see it happening. The 77, who was having a great day all day, ends up making contact with the one. Luckily, nobody pile drives into his car, and that will bring out the caution. But still, great job by the 77 to not collect anybody else, and great job for the field to miss him. That's such a difficult thing to do. We got a caution out now with 16 laps to go. Everybody stays out on a racetrack. I don't think we're going to see these leaders come down pit road anytime soon. I think that they've made their bed. They're going to stay out there on a racetrack. They're not coming down for anything.
Now, Kirk, I'm going to ask this question of you, and you can tell me whether this has any sort of kernel of truth to it or not. If the racers who came down pit lane on the stage yellow following stage number 2, they came down pit lane then, and they're going to stay out through to the end, how much yellow flag running would they have to be able to save enough gas to make it to the end. Would they even be able to consider something like that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that for a second, because we know they came down on lap. They came down for gas right around lap 96, 97, right? They went back out there. They had another crash, another caution. But when that caution came out, I got to tell you, I think, I'm going to triple check, but I think that they actually I'm looking right now at Jacob Simpson. Yeah, these guys did not come down. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So there's a chance these guys might run out of gas. Not saying it will happen, but there is a good shot of that. So, man, I don't know if they're going to make it, but they are shutting the cars off. It is obvious that they're keeping the cars shut off at the front of the field, saving as many laps as they can. They're hoping for a lot of cautions up front.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of caution running. Probably a slight miracle to befall you as well. So, I mean, if they can make it work, we'll have to find out. You know, miracles can happen, but I'm not a man who bets on miracles. I'm a man who bets on actual physical substance. And you cannot run a car on miracles. You can run a car on vegetable oil if you put enough chemicals in it, but you can't run off of a miracle.
Oh, good Lord. Don't get that is not advice. Do not put vegetable oil in your car. All right? Do not. Ron, you got to watch what you say. People might do that. You got to be don't do that.
It's refined frying oil that you can run a diesel off of.
No,
they tested this, and you could do it with some additives.
Well, don't try it at home. Don't do it. don't risk it. Just get regular oil. I feel like I have to
some guy off in the backwoods of West Virginia who has been able to figure out how to run a car off turnip juice. So,
what? I'm speechless. Some of the things I'm hearing in my ear right now makes me want to shake my head. Good Lord.
In Cuba, they make brake fluid out of shampoo.
I swear. Okay, stop. Stop talking. No, we're not. No, we cannot even give ideas to these people. You never know what they'll do. Oh, my gosh. Okay, yeah, now the producer's getting in on it. Check out Garbage.
Pepsi Man!
No.
That sounds dangerous using Pepsi as coolant, because if your car got a little bit too hot, would that basically just get turned into like a gunky syrup? That kills a radiator.
Oh, don't even worry about it. We got a race about to start back on. We got 13 laps to go. When they get the green flag, they're coming through 3 and 4 right now. Let's put all the dang alternative to engine oil out of the dang way and focus on the cars out here right now. Good God, some of the things you hear. Coming out of turn number 4, pace car's going to dive into the pit lane. 13 laps to go. Is it going to be Jacob Simpson, Joseph McWhorter, Bryce Rayner, Bryson Hicksonball, or will it be someone else? Back underway here at Echo Park. That outside just did not get formed up there, Ron.
Oh, they did not. Look at that gap. It's 3 cars and then a gap.
Whoa!
And then 2 cars and a gap. Oh, no!
The 88 hard into the inside wall. Coming up the racetrack. Look out, everybody behind. More contact. They're wrecking on the back straightaway. Cautions back out again. Daniel Llewellyn, heavy front end damage. Also included is Daniel Wiles in the 88, heavy front end damage. Oh, my goodness gracious. Look at the 88 car. If we can get a camera on the 88, that's going to be the one to watch. All right, here we go. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Here we go. The 88 car. Keep an eye on it. He's on the bottom. He sees that contact in front of him. The 83 gives him a shot. Heavy inside wall impact. Hardest hit of the race. But not over yet. Look out, Llewellyn. And a couple more. That's Nathaniel Pollard involved. And who was that on the bottom? I couldn't tell who that was. That may have been, let me see, hang on. The 30 car. That was Owens. William Owens also damaged on the right front.
See, drivers in the real life O'Reilly series should take note of that incident and realize that's how you should be piling into an accident on the back straightaway. Don't wait 15 seconds until the crash already happened and then ARCA brake into it. Let's take a look at this here. Nothing that any of those racers could have done there in the cloud of smoke and dust and steam.
the issue is that I know for a fact race control probably was not going to throw a yellow for that, not until it was a little too late. Looking at when those caution lights came on, I think that's going to be something to keep in mind, because when those lights came on, it was obvious that, did they have enough time to know there was a wreck? Did they have enough time to slow down? I don't necessarily think they might have. We'll have to see. But, again, this type of wreck really does hurt the field in the back. There's guys who out here who are just riding around all day, and they get involved in an accident like that. Caution was not out until, looks like, oh, yes, it was out. They threw it at the right time. I'm glad they did. The 88 was sliding on the inside of the racetrack, and they threw it right when he was about to come back up to the racetrack. But it wasn't enough time to give the 23, the 16, or the 30 any sort of heads up that there was a chance a car was coming back up the racetrack.
Yes, unfortunate there for the drivers that got piled into that incident. Now, though, coming up into the final 10 laps of this race, Kirk, the sun has fully set, the lights are shining bright, and these competitors are maybe feeling a little bit hot under their collar if they still are trying to make it to the end on fumes at this point. They've got to be run low. Actually, no, we say that. I said that miracles can't happen and that you can't run an engine off of miracles. We've seen some pretty odd fuel numbers be hit in real life in the past, and it can happen in the sim. I wonder if these racers have been able to pull off some fuel-saving masterclasses and may be able to make it to the end. I've seen stranger things. I'm not even talking about the show on Netflix.
I haven't. No, never seen it. But I'm a little concerned, man. I'm just looking at this. I'm scared we're going to have cars running out of gas when they cross the stripe. For like one of these laps. If they're able to save enough, great. They're staying out so they think they can make it. That'd be awesome. I hope it happens. We lost a lot of cars on that last one. Now we're coming to get one to go before we go back green. This will be a 9-lap dash to the finish. Looking at the cars out there on the racetrack, I also got to let our good friend know, Hunter Bogdan, remember that? Hunter Bogdan? He was 4 laps down at one point. Ladies and gentlemen, he has just gotten back on the lead lap. That is one heck of a recovery for the 86. He might get a top 25 if he's lucky. We'll see if he's able to do it. But these guys up front, again, Simpson, McWhorter, Reiner, Hicksonball, Benefield, Brown, Von Henschel, Pearl, Wheeler, Napier. These guys, that's your top 10. They know they have a shot at winning a race in the Friday Night Lights series. This is actually so difficult. It's so hard to win. Winning one of these things, I wish I did. I finished second in my best finish, but these guys, it is a feeling that is like no other. I can tell you right now, second felt like winning a dang lottery. Winning, I can't even imagine. You're racing against some of the best guys out there for this car, and it's just entertaining beyond all heck. Who knows who's going to win? It's a great equalizer, but coming out of turn number 4, the pace car is going to dive into the pit lane, Ron, and we're about to get back underway. 9 laps to go. Who will it be? Let's find out. We're back underway. Oh, huge check up there, wrecking. No doubt about it. Cars around, the 71's around. They're huge crash. The 97 of Hoytsma's involved. The 59, the 86, the 35, all crashed here at the start-finish line. Huge checkup up front. Nobody in the front row went.
Yeah, and stacking up from there like a pack of dominoes, down they all fall. Let's take a look at it. There's the pace car pulling back down into the pits, and we'll follow a little bit farther behind. It was bad up at the front. It was even farther it was even worse a few rows behind them, and that just snowballed out of control from there. There's the 71. Oh no, the 71 hit the fence and then ricocheted. He ricocheted into the side of the 97 of Lucas Hoytsma, who I still think made the good call. But that's the sort of pitfall that you find yourself in. Just in that position, bad spot to find yourself in. He was good on fuel, good on tires, was probably feeling the most comfort out of anybody, but just getting caught out, that falling infill striking right on top of his head.
You know, I think that was 100% intentional by both the 22 and the 73. 73 could not go. He's not allowed to go until the leader hits the gas. Looking at the restart zone, can we get an angle on the leader whenever he went into that restart zone? The 22 car of Jacob Simpson. If we could look at his speed Is there an icon for speed? If we can get the speed up, if we can get the speed, what I can tell you, if it's not possible, all right, we can't get the speed, but what I can tell you is I have the screen up here on my end. I'll tell you what his speed was. In that restart zone, he stayed at exactly the speed, which was here, 56. 56 all the way until the end of the box. He was 56, 58 after the box. He didn't even hit the gas at all anywhere in that box. And he got rear-ended to go 65 miles an hour. So the 22 did not go, and because of that, this caused a huge stack up. I think it was because he was trying to make a caution happen so that way he could save more gas, have a chance to make the race and win. And I think, I don't know if that's something that I necessarily like seeing, but it's blatant on our end.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be touching any of that, but I will say it's unfortunate to see that incident collect some very good cars that had a good shot to win. And now, with even more yellow flag running, will that work out well for those competitors that were trying to make the good fuel number? Certainly, it helps out their case a heck of a lot. They're going to be feeling a bit less stressy as we get to the end of this race. They're just going to have to worry about the cars behind them is all. We'll have to see how this restart goes again as well. I think everybody was a little bit jittery there as well. Just a lot of factors kind of playing into that taking place, at least from my perspective, looking at that.
Yeah, no, I can't say otherwise. I just rode on board with the car. I do not like what I saw. We're going to say, I'm sure that they're going to look at it in the race control after the race, see what actually happened there. You're allowed to go in the box. You have to go at either the beginning of the box or all the way at the end, but you can't wait until 30 feet after the box. And that's what caused the accident. So these cars that were in the back that were ready to go racing got put in a terrible position. We got 5 laps to go when we get the green flag back underway. We'll see how it goes. But up front again, Simpson, McWhorter, Reiners, Hicksonbaugh, Benefield, Brown, Drew Proyle, and then Von Hintenshell. These guys, Von Hinchel, I should say. These guys are going to have a chance of winning, but we'll see how this restart goes. What do you think, Ron? What's going to happen?
Well, I think we're going to see even more jitteriness from this field. We're going to see that aggression level get cranked up even more. May see another yellow, and if we do at this point in the race, that could very well put ourselves either into natural or extended green-white checker territory. And when we do, it's just going to be even. It's going to snowball from there. When we have these late yellows, that's exactly what happens. It snowballs from there. So keep an eye on this field as they head their way off through 3 and 4. This could very well be the final restart of the night. Could very well be far from the last. We'll just have to find out. It's going to be Jacob Simpson and Joseph McWhorter, your reigning champion, leading us back to green. 2 very strong cars right behind them, though, in the form of Bryce Reiner, Bryce, and Hicksonbaugh. So let's keep an eye on this field as they head their way to the restart.
Here we go. Pace car's gone out on the pit road, getting things back underway. Watch that 22. He went really late in the box last time. He did it again. This time, everybody knew it was coming. They waited as well. Back underway.
Yes, I think race control is going to have to look at that because it's first time around, obviously much more severe consequences because of the chaos breaking out behind him, but you just can't do that at any point, let alone 2 times in a row. But Simpson's still leading over McWhorter, over Reiner. I'm sure race control is probably looking at that as we speak, though, so we can't read into this too much. But we are getting into crunch time, though. Only a handful of laps left to go, and Joseph McWhorter trying to make something work on that very dysfunctional top side.
Oh, man, we're coming down to the final bit of it. You can take a look at your screen. I can tell you right now that outside line's pushing as hard as humanly possible. Now, who's going to be the one to have the gas? We're going to have to find out together as a group. I can't tell you one way or the other. There's a lot of cars with damage on the rear end and the front end. That's going to change the handling of the car. The 31 just got sent up the racetrack. He had damage on the rear end. You can see that's what happens when you have the stack-ups like that. But up front, the 22's starting to slow a little bit. 22's a little slower. 73's on the top. Oh, we got a blinker on the bottom. He's there and he's gone.
No, it's not. The 5. Yes, Bryce Reiner. He's been run into troubles like that all throughout the night, and when you worry about that, that's not going to be a good feeling for those drivers on the bottom side, so this could be a slight reprieve for those racers running up on top.
3 wide, Von Henschel in the 21 car. He was spinning a handful of laps ago, Eric Wineland, but guess what? He's still back out there. He's running in 8th. He's making his moves towards the front as the 31 of the 2 car of Von Henschel gets back in line. That 21 car, keep an eye on him. He has fresh tires. He was one of the few cars that came down pit road and got fresh tires. I think that 21 might have a shot here. Got to be watching that. Oh, not for long. Contact. Yeah, he saves it, but the car's behind him as they wreck into turns 3 and 4. The big one happens as they were coming to the finish there. I cannot believe what we just saw.
And now how's this going to work out for fuel? Will the racers up at the front have enough to make it through to the very end? Let's see where all the chaos and craziness started to break up. I think it was a little bit of stacking up farther up the road and just snowballed from there. You can see the top side starting to stall out, lose some momentum. The 21 sensing an opportunity, tried to make something work as a 10. Saw the 21 try and make a third lane, dived up there, and then everybody piling into that once that contact was made.
Oh, man, heavy contact after that as well. Car just got slammed. This is a hard hit all the way around. That 53 of Steve Benjamin, heavy front end damage, just wasn't able to miss this 92 as multiple cars were in the wall. Man, I hate to see it. A lot of cars involved. Let's see Steve Benjamin, the 9 car of Alex Prince, and the 92 of Brandon Huntsinger. More cars involved. I'll get you their names. Edward Shearer Jr. was around. You also got the 31 of Jarrett Grzinski also involved. Matthew Boston Wheeler, we already talked about. Noah Woods had a great run coming from 36th. Unable to continue in that one. Seth Foudy also got a little bit of damage there. The 27 of Tim Phillips also having problems. Last year he was one of the cleanest cars all year, but Tanner Marty also involved in an accident as a couple cars choose to go down pit road.
Yeah, and I think this may be a pit call out of pure necessity. Some drivers just not able to make it to the end. This will put us in green-white checker territory. I said it was a one-off, not one-off, pardon me. I said it was going to be a what-if many, many moons ago. Well, that what-if has now come to pass. And with one green-white checkered attempt, one can turn into a heck of a lot more than that here, Kirk. So how do you think these racers are going to be feeling up towards the front of the field? Do you think they're going to be feeling good about their fuel? Or do you think they're going to be feeling slightly anxious and a bit hot under the collar?
I'd say they're hesitant. They're hesitant. They know if they run out of gas up front, it's just not going to be pretty. They know they're going to get out of the way if that happens. But they're staying out. They think they can make it. These guys have been saving all race. They have a chance to be able to make it. And if they do, then that would be pretty freaking phenomenal. But knowing what we saw the last 2 restarts, we can almost guarantee that 22 car is not going to move until they get to the end of the restart box or a little after. He just won't hit the gas. He's going to save as much as he can all the way until he absolutely has to mash the gas. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to save every ounce he can. But doing that also caused a stack up the first time he did it. It wasn't expected. But now I think the drivers have realized that that's going to happen, and we'll see if they learn from it. They learned from it the second restart, but now they got to learn from it a second time. Doubling up for the restart now. One more lap before we get back underway for a 2-lap dash to the finish.
I will say, though, and this is honest, if the 22 does it for a 3rd time in a row, you can count my flabbers gasted. I will be shocked if he goes for that once again, because that is, I mean, it's something that we could spot pretty easily as well. Even though we're running under the lights, you can still very much so tell. And that's not one of those like touch and go kind of iffy calls to make either. That is against the rules. That's not even like that's a dirty move. That's just flat out illegal to do.
It might be. It might not be. I think that you can either go in the restart box or on the green flag. So if that green flag waited all the way until he was that far out of the box, then that's iRacing's deal. But I don't think that you're going to see any leadership make any decisions unless it's like blatant. The first time looked pretty bad, but the second time looked a little better. We'll see how it goes this time. 3 wide, probably going to be happening here in just a handful of minutes. Coming to get 2 laps to go. Remember, that inside line has momentum early on, so you want to get to the bottom quick. But on the back straightaway, exiting 2, that's where the top line comes in. What are they going to be willing to do to win this race? Watch that 22 car. Going through that restart zone. Are they going to try and get a win? Here we go. Back underway. Great jump for the inside line. That looked pretty good as they wrecking behind. More cars. Huge crash behind.
Lots of good cars collected in that, including the 21 of Eric Wineland. I thought he was going to be a sleeper pick at the end, as did you, I believe, Kirk, and not going to go out that way.
Oh, he might still. He keeps the car straight. He didn't spin, so he might get his spots back, I think, actually. Yes, he does. He gets his spots back. He will still be in a position to possibly do well in this race. He got very lucky he didn't spin around.
But you got to consider the damage on that car.
Go a little further. If we can get a little bit further back, you'll see what happened there. The one car, watch behind him, Dustin Hall, gets into him. The 21 was thinking they were going to go green sooner. 21 gets on the gas, hits the 83. The one, he's kind of like a pinball machine. The one hits him, he hits the 83. Yeah, the one car was the one that ended up causing this because he pushed the gas a little too soon and got into the back of the 21. And, you know, you could think all you want, but I can tell you right now that 21 car, he's probably a little ticked off about that one.
Yeah, the 21 just getting pile driven by everybody there, heading off in through the restart zone. You got to consider the damage on that car as well, because he got clipped on pretty much every single side. Front bumper's probably torn up, hood's probably torn up, the back of the car is probably torn up, and both sides probably have a little bit of tearing up there as well. So I wonder what the damage situation will be for him. Thankfully, it won't be a long run to make it to the end. A full green-white checkered is only 3 miles here, so that will play it to his hands somewhat. So keep an eye on that 21 still, but I think that damage, if it is severe, that may be a tough road to try and bounce back from.
Well, remember, we get unlimited attempts at green-white checkers. You saw that from our producer a little earlier in the run here right before that restart. It is going to happen again. Another restart. Cautions are breeding cautions, and it's because these restarts. And I'll tell you, these leaders do not want to see these green-white checkers. The more laps they got to run, the less chance they're going to make it on gas. They know what positions they're in. The 21 car, though, Eric Wineland, I think he's going to be fun to watch. If he's able to make this work, then I will just be dumbfounded. I think that'd be really wild to see happen, but he's on the freshest tires. He's further up than everybody else. He's going to be like 10th, 9th in that range. We'll see where he ends up going from. I think 11th, actually. But we're coming to get one to go before the restart. Who's your pick, Ron? Who do you think? You've watched all night. You've seen these guys. Who's your thoughts to actually try and win this thing?
See, I'm expecting some major amount of chaos, craziness, death, and destruction breaking out. So I'm not going to say it's going to be one of your top 2. I'm going to say it's right behind that. Bryce Reiner, that 5 car has been quick. Granted, he's been quick to the point where he's occasionally blinked in and out of existence. That 5 car has got some speed. I'm going to be keeping my eye on him on this restart, as I will for the driver who will be alongside him, Bryson Ixabal. That's a dynamic duo right there. They're certainly going to decide this race with the pushes, but maybe the race will come to them if they're the ones getting pushed.
There's a driver I want to bring up as well to add to that list of drivers I want to watch. I mean, kind of an underdog pick, but he's running in 5th right now, Jeremy B. Brown. With that Elite Designs Chevy right there. I think that Jeremy B. Brown car it would be something wild if he's able to come away with this. He's a rookie. He's running in 5th. A rookie in 5th. That's the point I wanted to bring up. You don't see a rookie again at all anywhere in the top 10 until you get all the way back to the 77 of Foudy running in 12th. So Jeremy B. Brown right now, probably going for Rookie of the Year, sitting in 5th. Great run so far. Just do not end that car facing the wrong direction. Maybe he might be able to surprise us all tonight. Coming through turns 3 and 4. Second attempt at a green-white checkered restart. We're going to have that pace car going to pit road. Now be ready for the stack up. This has happened already a few times. We're watching it now. If we can get a wide shot, the better. The bigger the shot, the better. I am thinking that this might be a big stack up, but keep an eye on it. 22 leading the way. Here we go through that restart zone. He's in it right now. He's waiting. He's on the gas. Everybody saw that coming. Now there is no checkups. Everybody looks fine. Here we go into turn number 1. Still side by side throughout this front field, but this is the first time I've seen that outside lane have any momentum.
Yeah, they're not broken up this time. Yeah, they're going to have a mighty run heading down the back straightaway. Keep an eye on this. Michael Mesnar not running up towards the front. Now, he does have a penalty, though, for a jump start, so we can take him out of the discussion. But look at McWhorter keeping the pressure on the high side. They're coming to the white flag here, Kirk. Here we go.
Coming out of turn number 4, white flag, 1 lap to go here at Echo Park. Up front, they are still 3 wide in the back of the field, but look up front. This is all about trying to keep the car in a good position. They are 3 by 3. Who will it be? The 73 on the top, 63 pushing, or will it be the 22 and the 5 on the bottom? McWhorter on the outside, on the bottom again. It is that 22 contact, 73's loose, really loose. All the cars are loose. Coming out of turn number 4, there's contact. They're wrecking behind, but coming across the line, Jacob Simpson saves enough gas, and he will win here at the Babytona 250. Way to go. That was one heck of a finish to hang on to the win. 22, Jacob Simpson is a winner and the Friday Night Lights Series.
Yeah, that was a wild finish. I think the 5 had a sledgehammer shot to the outside wall and started spinning around like a top. Let's take a look at this. It looked like it was maybe going to come up his way there, but then contact made 63 into the 73, spins the 5 around, and the 5 backs it into the fence. And, oh, man, that was a sickening shot. Thankfully, to see that Echo Park Speedway sign blocking the view. Otherwise, you'd see him going through the spin cycle.
Man, Jacob Simpson getting it done. One of the most aggressive drivers. I said that all last year. I told him, don't change. You're going to have better results this year. And it sure did pay off for him. He was able to use as many things he could to try and win this race. But you saw those hits. Well, on the front stretch, take a look at the 22 live. He is doing his burnouts. I love seeing this type of thing. Let's take a look at our finishing results if we can get a chance, and then we'll bring him in and talk to him. Here we go. You see it right there. Jeremy B. Brown, 2nd place. What a finish. But Jacob Simpson takes the win. We'll talk to him in a second. Adam Benefield will take 3rd. 4th will be Kevin Zosiak. Where did he come from? Then Joseph McWhorter will get 5th as Bryson Hexaball 6th. 7th will be Lucas Hoytsema, comes back to get a top 10. Wesley Napier, another rookie, somehow got a top 10 with Eric Wineland in the 21 getting 9th. Great recovery. And Rich Kleiman in the 7 finishes in 10th.
And then looking on from there, Matthew Boston Wheeler in 11th place. Alex Princeton, who had a pretty torrid time here in this race, ends up walking away with a 12th place run. Edward Sherrod Jr., who ran into troubles, ends up in 13th. Jesse Winslow from Canada in 14th place over Seth Fonte in P15. Dave Hoytsma walks away with 16th at the very end. Noah Woods is classed in 17th in front of Hunter Truell in P18. Hunter Bogdan finishes right behind the 19th with Ryan Von Henschel rounding out the top 20.
Finishing in 21st tonight will be Bryce Rainier. Got involved in that wreck at the end, did not cross the line until too far back. Finishing 22nd, Tanner Marty, followed by Tim Phillips, Daniel Llewellyn, Jarrett Grodzitsky, Dustin Hall, Drew Progil, Michael Mesnard, Steve Benjamin, Brandon Huntsinger rounds out your top 30.
Yeah, then just a few more drivers left to go through. A lot of them running into troubles throughout this race. That includes Daniel Wiles, Nathaniel Pollard in 31st and 32nd, William Owens in 33rd, Mason Lowry in 34th, Tyler W. Hunter in 35th, John Nichols in 36th, Cliff Mullins, who got involved in one of the first major incidents of the night, classed down in 37th, Cody Bird in P38, Charles Ian in 39th, and Larry McDonald, who ran into troubles very early on in this race, was actually one of the first cars cars 1 lap down, rounds out your field 122 laps down in 40th. But those are your results. And Kirk, I'll pass the mic off to you to get these interviews up, rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah? Well, let's go ahead and talk to him. Jacob Simpson, you did it! You got the win, pal! Way to go! How's it feel, man?
Hey, first FLCC race. I guess, Ralph was like, you're going to be the Justin Allgaier, Elliott Sadler, go back down to Xfinity or O'Reilly. That's $1 in the jar right there. And just redo it. I had a rough first half of the year in Cup last year, and I can't believe I won an FLCC race. It's crazy.
Oh, you did it. You did it, man. You got yourself a win. It's so hard to win these things, and you got it done. And you just got into a great position. We talked to you at the end of the stage. And at the end, how much fuel did you have left? We know you were waiting really late in the box to go, but I'm guessing it was trying to save as much fuel as you could.
It was actually, I was getting too big a run, or I was getting too big a gap to the guys behind me, and I didn't want to get that. One time I got shot to the bottom off of twos because I was too far out. And as we sit right here after the burnout, I still have 6 laps of fuel.
Oh, man. So it wasn't gas. You were just trying to make sure you didn't get a huge gap on the restart.
Yeah, as long as I could keep the 2 lines side by side, I knew that my strength was the handling in the corners. I thought I had a really good car in the corners. And, if we got single file, then you had to start blocking, and I did not want to do that.
Well, I got to tell you, Jacob, it was one heck of an aggressive move there at the end to make that happen. But you saw him wrecking behind you. What was your first thought when you crossed that line?
No effing way is what I was saying. I was ready for we got the no yellow line, red line rule off of 4, and I'm like, I got to get down there as quick as possible. And then I seen people backwards, and I'm like, I didn't even need to go down here.
Wow. Well, congratulations, man. Anybody want to shout out here at the end of this?
Strong Strides, Equine Bodywork, Ralph, my team owner. It's him and his fiance Haley's business. Ken and Ryko for the setup, and especially Maconi Entertainment for what y'all do. I was bummed that I wouldn't have Kurt calling me on Saturdays, so I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'll be doing this all season with you, pal. We're going to have some fun. All right. But Jacob, congrats. You got it done. Man, just keep being you. That's what I said at the end of that stage. I'm going to reiterate it. Don't change. It's fun to watch.
Yes, sir. And it's a nice present because I'm going here on Sunday, so I'm a winner.
Oh, go have fun, man. All right. Thanks for talking with us.
Yeah.
That was your race winner, Jacob Simpson. Now let's go ahead and get Jeremy B. Brown, the rookie, to come talk with Ron. Ron?
Yeah, and Jeremy Brown now joining us here in the booth. Jeremy, welcome in. P2 for you at the end of a wild one here at Echo Park Speedway. How was it out there for you?
Oh, I had a great time. It was, it was kind of stagnant as far as like you kind of, whatever you got, however you restarted, that's kind of where you just rode. If you could get up a line or down a line, maybe you could move up a spot or two, but neither one of the lines really had an advantage on the other one. We just kind of stuck side by side most of the race.
Well, certainly on the restarts, it looked a little bit hectic on the top side, not really able to get the formation flying up and working, but towards the end of it, especially on that last restart, it looked sort of like just a knife fight out there. So how was it trying to peek your way through the chaos and craziness at the end?
Well, luckily I was in front of it on the bottom. One of the restarts, I felt a bump on my rear end, and we didn't make it past the start finish line hardly. So I imagine there were some folks trying to, get a little run on the restart or what. I don't know. Adam said something in the infield care center there that the top line kept checking up really bad. So luckily, fortunately, I was in front of all of that. So I only got a 4X out of one of them and no damage.
Hey, well, it works out well for you. Not ideal about the incidents, but as long as you didn't have any damage, it didn't slow down that car one bit as you walk away with a P2 here in this race. We're going to be switching to a much different track, though, in 1 week's time. COTA, Circuit of the Americas, for race number 3 of the season. First road course of the campaign here in 2026. What are your thoughts heading there?
I will be virtually non-existent there. I'll be lucky to run top 20. I will take a top 20 and be tickled to death. at my road course races. I can make lap time, but I just don't have the road racecraft to pass people. So I usually just ride behind them, but as opposed to wrecking folks. So, we'll just kind of take what we can get, and maybe, flip some stages and hopefully get some stage points or something like that, or not flip stages, and others do, and get some stage points and just get out of there with a decent week.
Hey, those stage points can mean a heck of a lot. And hearing some applause from Kirk. Kirk, you want to ask our rookie podium finisher a question here?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Jeremy Brown, dude, you're a rookie out here. You got a lot of stuff around you, and you got the Super Speedway top 5. Man, you got second. I mean, did you think at the beginning of this race you ever had a shot getting in the top 5 tonight?
No, I'm going to tell you what, when my name went to the top of that board, it scared me to death. I was like, oh my gosh, all I want to do is ride around in the back and because my goal here is to race around these guys and earn a little respect. Because I know a lot of them, but a lot of these guys I don't know, and I got to race a whole season with them, and just gain a little respect. And so when my name went to the top and then Adam beat me, and I was like, man, I've got to start up front. And I was like, well, we'll just hopefully get in line and ride here, and that's what we've done. And luckily, it worked out great because you as long as you could hold on to your track position, you were golden and didn't make any mistakes. And that's all I tried to do. I didn't want to force no issues or anything like that. I just wanted to ride in line and help my line the best I could.
Well, I got to say, man, thanks so much for talking with us. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, all the guys at Elite Designs for being on the car, and Elite Motorsports, Jared Wishon and all of them back home, they have helped me out tremendously over the last year to help me become a much better race driver. All last year, I will admit, I watched these races every Friday night, and I was like, that looks cool, but I don't feel like I was good enough to race with these guys. And, they helped build my confidence. I'm still not fast, but I try to be mistake free. And you guys do a great job. Like I said, I watched both broadcasts all last year, and y'all do a great job. And Bryson and oh my gosh, now I can't think, but they do a great job running this league. So, but I appreciate it.
Man, it's so cool. I love your story, by the way, Jeremy. I just got to say, back to you, Ron.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us here in the booth, man. Thank you for the kind words as well. Well done on the P2, and we'll see you out there on the racetrack at Circuit of the Americas next time out.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great week, and we hopefully see you again soon.
All right. We certainly will. Thank you, Jeremy.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot, Ron. Yeah, no, dude, his story is wonderful. He didn't even think he was going to be anywhere near the end of this thing. But now one of my favorite interviews of all time, we got Adam Benefield sitting in here. Adam Benefield, one of my favorite interviewers. How are we doing, Adam?
How we doing?
Well, I got to tell you, third place, not too shabby, but I know your opinions on finishing third. You don't like it. How do you feel about tonight's race?
Just, frustrated with everything. Honestly, felt like we had probably one of the fastest cars in the field. Ran really good. Stage one deal. I just had a big push, and when they shuffled up there in the front, I was coming at Bryson really fast. And these cars, you can't hit somebody going that fast because you'll kill them and yourself. And so I was trying to back the run up and not run him over, and I can't even remember who was on. I think it was Bryce that was pushing me, and kind of just I don't know what, it shot me back and forth, a pinball, and then it shot me to the left and got Eric. But we got the damage fixed. Had about 40 seconds, and then drove it back up to the front. The car was really, really good. I feel like I could make a lot of moves. I was trying to be respectful and not put people that in a really bad situation, but we were able to make some moves by ourselves through the middle and get back up there. And then I don't know, Bryson screwed up, so this one's on him freaking don't know how to lead a pack, and he got passed. So clearly he ain't worth a crap. So then we were just riding in line, and I don't know, like the restart. I don't know, like, well, I guess like I heard somebody sound like they fired, and I went, and then they're like, all that was right there around the green flag, and clearly it wasn't inside, and I got lifted up off the ground and whatnot, and all hell broke loose, and we came home third.
Adam, I got to say, I always like your run through the whole race. You always have a pretty dang good sense of how things went down. I got to tell you, too, at the end of that thing, on those restarts, I saw a little bit of damage on the rear end from one of the restarts. What'd you think about the way the last couple of restarts went, in your opinion, from where you were restarting?
I mean, it is like, I get what Jacob did, everything he had to do, in my opinion. I heard his interview, and I couldn't agree more. I would have done the same thing. It's just
absolutely
people impatient, trying to jump starts and push before we even get going. It's the same crap, that it always is. It's not a super speedway, but it is, or drafting track, whatever people want to call it now. I think it'd be better as a bass pond, because they absolutely ruined this place. But it just is what it is. People are just trying to get everything they can there at the end of the races, and stuff like that happens.
Well, I got to ask you, anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just everybody at Team Conti Sim Performance. My teammates I run with over here Friday nights, Mason, Cody, Dustin Hall, Dyson missed a show. Don't know how in the world you miss a show on a wide open racetrack, but apparently Australian people have a problem with that. So he missed a show, but always thankful of him. I think I know. Oh, Bryson. Yeah, I don't just, he's a teammate. I'm mad at him right now, but Bobby and them for the league. Obviously I've said it. If I said it once, I said it 100 times. It's my favorite place to be. I love everybody over here. You guys for broadcasting. I missed last week. I was going on vacation, and so I was kind of fired up, ready to go tonight, since this was my first race of the season, and come home with a P3 is awesome. By the way, I seen it while I was on vacation, and not going to lie, I was too many drinks in to really figure out how to type back to you or to finish the sentence. But congratulations on the announcement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, those of you who don't know, I got a baby on the way. Going to be here in August. New NASCAR fan added into the group. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate your kindness. Anyway, man, thanks so much for talking with us, and thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. But
yeah, brother.
Hey, and anyway, man, I hope you have fun yelling at your teammate up there whenever I pull you back up there. All right.
All right, man.
All right. We'll see you soon. Well, that was Adam Benefield. One of my favorite interviewees. I like talking to him. He's real fun, Ron.
Some of the first interviews I did with him, I feel like he was intentionally trying to trip me up a bit in some of the interviews. It's like interviewing Bugs Bunny in a way, but it's still always very, very entertaining, and you can sense that he still has the same drive to win, maybe even more so than last season. Looking forward to seeing what he may try and get that number 83 car. Expect to see him in victory lane at some point soon, but man, fun race. But Coda next time out. First road course. We're going to my kind of racetrack there with the road stuff. Always a fan of the road courses, and once we head off there, we can see the good Coda layout.
Well, folks, you're absolutely right, Ron. We're going to Coda. Be there next week. Same time as this race. It's going to be, I think if Dyson runs, good luck everybody else. But we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in to Maconi Entertainment, for watching tonight's coverage of the Friday Night Lights series here at Babytona 250. Your winner again is Jacob Simpson in the 22 car. I'm Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mounts, and of course our producer Howie Burrows saying so long, and we'll see you next week.